Baddie League. Tonight we are going to have our semi-final match, and I am 30, brought to you by the Sway and Baddie League, I guess. And joining me tonight is Thrifty and Slender Dan, or I'm just Dan. How you guys doing tonight?
I am doing really well. I'm looking forward to this this semifinal round. A lot of hype behind Waifu Superstar, so I like to root for the underdog, but the odds seem insurmountable.
I am very excited for this series. Been doing well and ready to see hopefully some really good and really bad League of Legends.
Yeah. Before we launch into this this draft, though, I just want to bring up last quarterfinals MVP, Thor Odinson, unofficially the MVP, with just amazing mid play. I think mid is going to be one of the lanes to watch out for, just because Wayne can be so volatile and so can Thor.
Yeah, I agree. Thor had an amazing best of 5 last week. I mean, it only went 4 games, but yeah, he played phenomenally in all 4 games, and not only that, he actually picked 4 unique champions across all the games. So it probably made Waifu Superstars draft a little tougher this match, and just so it shows how versatile he is.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a lot more interesting just because I think the draft phase in this series is going to be much more important just because of the fact of like both these teams have traditionally had really strong pick and ban phases, and on top of that, there's a lot more contested picks, whereas previously there's a lot of teams where they're like, we're just going to do our own thing and we're going to do our own thing. So it'll be very interesting to see how this is between that and pocket picks.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, we are in this new realm of 6.9. We're actually on 6.10 now, so like things might be even crazier. Blood Razor got a little bit of a buff. Kindred once again skyrocketed back to the top of the jungle meta pick. So it's like all different, but then there's also some elements that it was before pre 6.9. But yeah, so like you guys said, on the blue side we do have SS Booster Friendship going against Waifu Superstar. On the red side, the band's coming out pretty
Aurelion
standard.
Soul Band.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I think that's targeted at Wang.
That is 100% targeted at Wang.
Yeah.
I have not heard any hype behind his Aurelion Soul. Is it really that impressive to deserve a ban first round? Or I guess second
yeah,
round
I think it is actually. I've been talking with Wang a bit. Actually, I've been talking to both teams, so I'm like really excited about how I've been talking with both teams a lot. So I've heard a bit about each one. Really good bans from both sides here, but Aurelion Soul was by far the best champion on 6.9. He did receive nerfs in 6.10 to hopefully kind of tune down his power a little bit, but he's a really unique champion. He plays really differently, and he doesn't have a lot of bad lane matchups because he can just wipe the wave and then come back because of his E's ability, the Journey. And Wang has been doing something to really good effect. He's been playing almost exclusively Aurelion Soul in the mid lane the last couple weeks in solo queue.
Okay.
Is this a placeholder?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Let me talk about that.
It's a placeholder for Lucian.
Yeah, there you go. It's yeah. So overall, it's a Lucian first pick, not that insta lock Yorick.
Yeah.
Which I assume we all really wanted.
No.
I was really excited for a second until I saw the message pop up and I was like, God damn, that's a replacement.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like the SBL always is, all of these bans are targeted, but it just so happens that actually a lot of these picks are just really strong meta champions. Like Azir, Echo, Maokai, Alistar are all really, really good. They all like basically were the top of their positions in 6.8, and they pretty much still are in the 6.10 world.
Well, these are two teams that have been always used to like more of playing the meta for the majority of their rules.
Yeah, so it makes sense to ban those out, and we saw the Lucian first pick. Lucian incredibly strong right now, especially with the new Ghostblade into Black Cleaver build that everyone's doing right now. And so the second rotation, though, Waifu Superstar picking up Gragas and Thresh, 2 very comfort champions for their 2 respective players. Kraken on a very comfortable tank jungler. What do you think that means for this Waifu Superstar lineup?
I think that is an ideal situation for this Waifu Superstar lineup. We've always seen them go to their best effect when Kraken is on this tanky, beefy jungler, mainly just Gragas or Sejuani. So I think that the second they saw that was available, they were very excited to see that it was available, and it's a strong first pick. I mean, both those champions are not bad on this patch either, so all the better.
tons of playmaking too, and both of these champions are good in the early end to mid game. So Waifu Superstar probably looking to snowball it out of control.
I have seen this Waifu Superstar lineup played probably 7 out of the 10 regular season weeks. I am so bored. Somebody's got to ban somebody out so that they can't keep playing this. Because
Like, this is like, they always do this, or like something basically very similar. They have like a formula where they always get 5 of the same like 9 to 10 champions. Actually, probably more like 8 to 9, like depending on what bans. Like, I mean, we've seen like Thresh, Alistar in the bot lane. We've seen Sejuani or Gragas in the jungle. We've seen Jarvan or Renekton top lane. They seem to be really happy with this. It actually looks like that Trundle was a bait. They telegraphed the Trundle pick top, and instead it's looking like it's going to be an Aurelia, which is not the strongest champion in the current meta, but it is a very big pocket pick for On the Wind. The top lanes are boosted, so.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've talked to the Swift in the past, and he thinks, you know, if something isn't broke, why fix it? And that's what the Waifu Superstar believes when they pick these team comps. They have had so much success, so much dominating success on this type of team comp. They are not afraid to just pick it straight up in game 1. But yeah, like you said, this Aurelia pick, how does that match up against the Jarvan?
Jarvan.
Oh man.
I know Swift really likes to run Thunderlords on Jarvan top, and with Thunderlords, he's just able to do just an insane amount of burst damage. We're gonna get the remake here, but with the insane amount of burst damage, if he doesn't get Aurelia down to dangerously low levels, Aurelia will just be able to trade and lifesteal back, and eventually, if On the Wind stays on him, he'll be able to come out ahead in that trade.
Okay.
So
it's definitely a fairly skill-related matchup.
Yeah, I feel like it go really back and forth, and not only that in the 1v1, but it's really swingy in the 2v2.
It is a very, and the big thing is that like while it's a very skill-based and even matchup during the during the laning phase and everything like that, it is probably one of the best ways to relate it to is like the Fizz v Orianna matchup. It's a very even skill-based matchup, or like the LeBlanc Azir. All these matches are very skill-based and even until one of the champions gets ahead.
Right, and then
it's a very volatile matchup.
Right, then it's just the other laner coming back. It was just like one item advantage, crushing you, out-CSing you, out-roaming you. Yeah, it just perpetuates the snowball.
Actually, the LeBlanc one's a bad example because the LeBlanc wins the lane. But if the thing is, if the LeBlanc gets ahead, it's like super ahead for her. Or if the Azir does manage to get ahead of the LeBlanc, then the LeBlanc's just useless.
Right,
so
and then
it's a very
scales.
volatile. Yeah. So very volatile matchup though in this top lane, where if one of these gets ahead, the other one has a very hard time CSing safely.
Yeah.
Just because the other one can bully them off so easily.
Yeah, and the last pick overall was Wang, and he picked up Ari to go against Thor's Lissandra.
Yeah, I find that peculiar. That Thor took Lissandra, but then again, he did play 4 different champs in 4 different games last.
He's also played
series.
Lissandra in the regular season.
Yeah,
so.
It seems to be one of the champions he likes to go back to.
Okay.
I think it's a comfort pick for him.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very even matchup actually. The Lissandra versus Ari. How would you rate it, Thrifty?
It is a very even matchup. Both have a lot of potential to gank the other one. Lissandra's actually probably slightly favored in the matchup, just because her ult is very, very good against Ari, because Ari relies on that mobility, but the point-click 1.5 second stun is very, very strong.
Well, statistically, on 6.10, in Platinum and above Elos, brought to you by Champion.gg, not an official sponsor of the SBL, Lissandra actually loses the matchup, statistically.
Okay.
But only by 2%. So
Okay.
I feel like it's still very close. And I really think about this. Lissandra in this meta where teleport is so valued, and Lissandra being a very good teleport user in the mid lane, I assume in solo queue it just snowballs where the Ari brings ignite and just like gets the first blood, and then
I think part of that win rate also might be, I think Ari's a lot stronger champion on the current patch than Lissandra is.
I would maybe agree, but definitely not popularity wise. I feel like Lissandra's definitely more popular.
Yeah. No, I think that Ari is a bit of a stronger champion. Not by like a large margin. I think she is definitely a stronger champion on the current patch than Lissandra. The new items might have changed it around a little bit, and I haven't experienced it a ton on 6.10. So it's
Yeah.
always up to change.
Yeah. Wow. So, man, I'm excited. I feel like these, and honestly, like we talked about Waifu Superstar about how their lineup is so them. It is like such a definitive team comp for
Oh
them.
yeah.
But I feel like this is also a very definitive team comp for SS Boosted Friendship.
Oh yeah. I'd agree with that. This is a very standard. I think the rally is a little off for them, but
I
that
don't
makes
know.
sense that they.
I think Aurelia
That's a
was
very
good
win
pick.
style champ though.
Yeah. I think it's been like every week they've just tried to put Wind on one of his comfort picks, and then
Yeah.
just let him kind of do his thing, which worked really well for them last split in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. I say I definitely like. I don't know if they intended to pick that, or if they were expecting the Echo Maokai ban. Echo is aimed at both the jungle and the top laner, so I think that's a really good ban, especially considering his tank Echo is still strong on this patch, and Maokai's aimed at their top lane. So like we haven't seen Wind have too much success on other top laners besides those. So I
Right.
think that's a really good call, and I think that was really good out of Booster to ban Renekton because Renekton's always been known to do very, very well against Aurelia.
Yeah, and the one time I believe he did pick Poppy at least once in the regular season. I think it was a pretty bad performance out of him, and that would
It was
probably be like
not.
the next go-to tank
Yeah.
top laner as far as the meta goes. And I don't know, maybe because Jarvan was already picked, maybe Poppy would have been actually a weak matchup into Jarvan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in addition, not even just regarding that, like Poppy might be a weak matchup with the Jarvan. We have seen him play the Poppy in the regular season, and he did struggle a little bit on it. It was
I
not
remember
very.
an 0-5 start.
Yeah, there was not a very. It was not something to be like praised about. They were able to win at least one of the games. I can't remember if he played it more than once.
I think it was
but
once, and he.
It was
won.
not a. It was not a game that you really want to see. It was.
Yeah, I think
A
he actually
struggle.
won that game where he
No,
actually
no,
started
they
so
did win the
badly.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
But that was on the back of a very
Big
his
carry
team-
out of.
big
I
carry.
think there was a bot lane carry in that one, but
Yeah, well, his bot lane and mid lane stepped up.
I think it was
very
actually
hard.
versus Boy Butter. So
No, it was against this Waifu Superstar, actually, if I remember
Really?
correctly. Yep. I think that was the game where they won off the 5th dragon. Versus the
Oh,
Baron.
yeah.
In the top lane, where the 5th dragon killed off AGS Zeros on Nasus.
you're right. Yes, I was
Yep.
gonna say that was the Nasus catch. Yeah, I remember that now. But cool. Well, we are loading in here.
So,
Gonna check out Runes
wait
and
a
Masters
minute.
here.
let's talk about how Boosted is the only team to have beaten Waifu Superstar aside from the remade
TDO.
TDO. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that a great storyline?
This
Man.
boosted is actually 2-0 against Waifu Superstar. They beat them both times during the regular season.
Let's see if they'll be able to pull out another one.
Yeah, I mean, they for whatever reason they seem to have Waifu Superstar's ticket. Or
Yeah.
They're
Death
Well, I
certificate.
will remember the second game was I think it was the first game. Waifu Superstar was experimenting and divulged away from their normal strat. It was like one of the two
Right.
games they did.
the Nasus,
And
really.
It went very.
yeah.
No, I don't think it was the Nasus game because like the Nasus is still fitting with like their style of comp where they have
Yeah.
a split pusher top, and then like they had the rest of the team. It was like one of the game they had like Rek'Sai jungle or like Elise or on Craig or something like that, and they like did something different with their mid lane, and it did not go well for them. So, but they did beat them when they had their usual what they want comp. So
User disconnected from your channel.
Yeah. Hello.
did we just lose?
Oh, that was the audio.
Okay, audio. Well, no audio recording then. Sad day.
Yeah. Well, yep, we're loaded onto the Rift here. Runes and Masters looked pretty standard from what I can see. Nothing too crazy, except for, and I don't know if this is a mistake or not. Dubdrum SSV Seaman brought 15 attack damage in his runes. Like it's like a jungler page you'd play like on a Lee Sin or like an AD sort of heavy like early ganker. I don't know. Does that make sense on Zach?
Actually, I could
think
see
it
it.
does,
What's
yeah.
what's actually really common on a lot of junglers, even the AP ones, is to do AD or attack speed depending on the champion. Like, just to help with their clear. Like I know, for example, Jungle Rumble actually takes attack speed reds.
Right, yeah, and usually those tank junglers who just want to like farm up and get to level 6 attack speed is the best stat to get on those types of champions. But just raw attack damage.
I don't necessarily
seems
think
odd.
I don't necessarily think Zach is going to want to wait to level 6. I mean, he'll just flop into the lane with a max charged E, and then he'll be slapping them for extra damage. I agree with this 15 extra damage.
I don't know if I agree with it.
I don't know if it's a mistake or not. That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
If it was
I want to know if
it's
it's.
purposeful.
I'm curious if it's a mistake or not. I can see the argument for it, but I think in most cases you'd rather have attack speed. But maybe Zach has really low base EE. I'm not actually 100. I haven't seen him played in a long time, much like regularly, so I'm not very familiar with his base numbers.
As you pick up one of his blobs, it actually reduces the cooldown on your W. So his cooldowns are relatively low.
Well, I knew that his cooldowns were relatively low, but it was more for the reasons to take attack damage, is what I was trying to figure out.
Well, I am a proprietor of rather offhand builds, so.
Yeah, yep, I can agree with that. So yeah, pretty standard lanes here. Looks like Medic was doing some early shenanigans. He was just getting a ward on the Gromp to see what was up. But yeah, both teams just starting off their jungler at the bottom side of the map here.
As a support player, how hyped are you for this support Trundle? And how will he do against a poke-heavy lane like Jinx's Thresh?
This is a good matchup for Trundle. And it's actually a pretty good matchup for Lucian as long as he plays it right. Like, the reason that Tree and Salvo, I assume, is that they always pick this combination is because you can chain CC. So, like, Tree being as good as he is, he can usually flay into Hook and then Chompers into Zap or any of those in any order, really. And you
have a lot of
kill
permutations of ways to engage on the opposing bot lane.
Yeah, exactly. But if Evelite and Respect, they play this correctly as they appear to be doing, just playing behind the mini wave and like farming it out, I think they're going to thrive here because Trundle's going to get way tankier than Thresh, and they're going to be able to like get jungler down there and kill Salvo really easily with the pillar.
Yeah, I would say this is like an ideal lane for like what Trundle wants to do because there's not a lot of just like disengage for him just like running up in front of their faces. Like there's Flay, obviously Flay's really good.
Yeah,
but it's
I mean,
not
the
as
thing
good
is,
as like
but
an
Trundle,
Morgana binding.
Yeah,
or
him
a
just
Janna.
walking up to Salvo.
Yeah,
that he's not blowing anything. He's not trading a cooldown for a cooldown. Thresh is just trading his Flay for nothing. So yeah, it's definitely a huge win for Trundle. Well, in this game, very even so far. Everyone seems to be laning pretty closely here, CS-wise, and not a lot of trading either. I feel like last week, all the lanes were just like heavy trading, a lot of ganks, and on the win, he's playing with fire right now because Kraken is in this top bush with the double buffs, and this is gonna look real nasty soon. So if he's just playing this one out, he goes in, the dash is done, and there's the belly bop with the knockup, and he flashes out, and he'll get one out of there safely, but the TP coming in for Lissandra, but Dubdub's actually in the top lane here, they get the knockup onto HS0, he's 1 hit away from death, and he goes down,
and that's going to be
going over to Admiral. Kraken, very low, has to get away.
Oh, man.
And he will do so. So a good counter gank and TP set up by SS Boost of Friendship to start off this game. Strong, he flashes the barrel.
No, he didn't flash the barrel.
No, he got hit by that barrel, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he like flashed into the barrel.
Oh, man.
Probably hoping to flash over it, but a little advantageous.
I casted the intent, not the reality.
Yeah, very true. And here comes another
Pillar
trade.
goes down, going on to Salva here, and yeah, there you go. Once again, I mean, a little bit of health loss for Respect right now, but all of the cooldowns now are down for the Jinx and the Thresh.
Yeah,
and I think Pillar will be up before at least the Hook for sure.
I
don't know. Pillar's pretty long, actually.
No, Pillar's really long, and he landed the hook even though it was on a minion. He did land it on a minion, so he gets the 3 seconds off the cooldown on it.
Yeah.
God,
look like a perfect bait for around the win there.
Yeah, that was just a very heads-up teleport coming out. I mean, they didn't know that Gragas was there and going to be ganking. Just a split-second decision out of Thor really like secured that first blood that could have been going in the other direction.
Well, I think like they already knew that both teams planned their ganks ahead, but one team had the teleport, and that was able to turn the tides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if that was all set up, if that was like actually the plan from the get-go, because if you actually study a lot of Waifu Superstars games, Kraken almost always ganks level 3. So they might have not expected, or on the win might have not expected the in-lane gank by the Gragas, but Dubdrum was already stepping into the enemy jungle for a huge, jump over the wall there, and then the teleport out of the mid lane just to bring it on home.
Yeah, no, it was really, really solid. And I mean, it also didn't help that it didn't stack their CCs properly in the top lane, so on the win was able to like walk out completely, just no problem.
Right.
Both the body slam and the driver knockup hit at the same time.
Yeah, Hook lands onto Lieutenant though, and he dashes, gets chomped up though, and there's Trundle there to take a bite out of Jinx to trade it back. So yeah, see that's the beauty of Trundle, is that you can actually just go up and just start biting them. And most players just don't think Trundle's a threat, but over time, with the Chomp, you know, reducing the AD and getting the more base damage, it actually does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, no, especially just how repeatable it is, and it does have a repeat, like the slow helps a lot as well, and he steals some AD, so he reduces their damage.
Right. If that, I mean, just think if Respect played like, if he would have picked maybe, I don't know, what has he played in the past? He's played a lot of Alistar. Basically any other champ, like basically a non-melee support. If he would have picked a range support there, Lucian would have got chunked or maybe even like blown all sums to try to get away there.
Yeah. Something that does need to be careful though is that like, well, Lucian will be coming into his power spike a lot sooner than this Jinx, especially with the fact that he'll do the Ghost Blade Cleaver build most likely. He needs to be starting to push that advantage. As you see, he has the 7 CS advantage. Yeah, and he is going for the Ghost Blade, as you see the Iris pick up. But they need to make sure to push that advantage because Jinx will eventually scale stronger than him. Yeah. The fact that he does the Ghost Blade Cleaver build means that it's not like normal where Jinx just immediately has the power spike at like, oh, I have 2 items, you have 2 items. I have more damage now.
Yeah.
Because of this new build that has recently emerged with the changes to the Black Cleaver, Lucian will retain the power spike for quite a bit longer. But he still does need to capitalize on that, or his team needs to be able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, this is really the only time where Jinx can be easily exploited. I mean, she can be easily exploited in in a 5v5 fight as well, but Tree has always done a really good job of peeling for Saddle over the course of the season. And I assume if Kraken's not the one to start the fight, if Swift is, then you know Gragas can come back and peel. There's options to try to keep their hyper carry alive in the late game. But on the win, yeah, he took a sizable CS lead for a bit, but it looks like that's equalized out now, and I don't know if he really has an item advantage. I mean, Sheen's really good, and the longsword as well. Actually, no corrupting potion for Jarvan. Is that standard?
I know a lot of Jarvans, especially ones that are going Thunderlord, take the Doran's Blade because they want to have like threaten that larger kill pressure. Makes him a really strong early lane bully. So I think that was just kind of all in going for that. It's like I want to try to beat you more of the all in, than a sustained fight. Because Jarvan's such a Jarvan is a champion that is so heavily dictated by his cooldowns.
Right.
Yeah. Plus with Kraken liking to gank level 3, he usually does it top. Jarvan was probably expecting to get a kill with that extra damage that he pulled out.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Kraken's coming back up here. Swift's super low, and the Gragasol is going to be a little misplaced there and knock him back into safety. Hook goes down onto Medic, but he's not going to care. He's Trundle. He's going in for the Chomp and Treat with the Respect Flash to try to get away. Zap on the back end deters Trundle from any more chase, and no kills either in the top lane. Dubjump paid a visit as well.
Yeah. I mean, he did ult the, I don't even know if it was necessary for him to ult there. Like, he did ult the Aurelia away. But I don't think I definitely don't think he wanted to ult the Aurelia into Jarvan, because Jarvan might have been able, like, Aurelia might have been able to just kill Jarvan before, and then it would just been a 1-for-1.
I just think it was just a safety ult. He didn't want his top laner to go down again, so.
Yeah. I think ideally though that was trying to be a bait, but I think Swift and Kraken both realized like, oh shit, I'm super chunked. Oh yeah, Dubjump, he has to just flash over. He's trying to steal the Raptors here. Admiral comes in for some help and will keep his friend alive, but Raptors will go over to the big man.
That's also a flash out of Zac, which is really nice.
Yeah.
For a Waifu Superstar. Because like part of the scary part about like that Zac gank potential in the mid is like, or like especially mid, but a lot of other lanes in general as well, is not only like you have to dodge. Don't realize it's like he'll do the jump, and even if the jump's slightly off, or like if they flash the jump, he'll just flash, like he'll ult and then flash over you.
Yeah, to reposition for more knockups. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just knocks you back because of the fact that like the ult gives him the move speed. He runs faster than you.
Yeah, Waifu Superstar realizing that every single member of SS Boosted Friendship went back to their base. They're going to be able to take this first Drake easily. And did you guys know that they actually changed this officially to Drake?
Oh, is it officially Drake now?
Yeah, it's actually it's like, in the scoreboard, it's they say Drakes. So
guys, EU won.
Yeah, no.
EU won.
That's what I told my team last night. Like, yeah, dude, he was the winner on that one.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, so because Riot.
It says dragon still when you slay it though.
Yeah.
It-
And if you
it
hover
does.
it says dragon buff count.
Well, like in the chat it says like Waifu is slaying dragon.
Right, but then in the actual game,
Yeah.
if you go to their scoreboard and to the top there, and you'll highlight
It says
over, it says
Drake's.
Drake. Yeah, so
Oh.
once again, Riot, they're not quite sure what they're doing because they didn't even update the spectator client to even know
Uh-oh.
which Drakes they got in. On the way, he's going in, but he won't.
He
actually-
lost!
Yo, Swift turns it around with the
Oh.
cataclysm under the tower.
Excellently played by Swift. I'd expect nothing less of his Jarvan. I mean,
Wow,
10 to midnight
Oh my
right there.
goodness.
that's
That was a critical mistake from on the way, and AGS0 calculated it
auto the minion.
wonderfully.
Yeah. As
He autoed a minion?
Yeah. If he would have
Yes,
gotten
he
one more
did.
auto in, that would have been a
Oh.
W. But
Also, he didn't run the corrupting potion, so.
Oh man, so yeah, this actually. I was gonna say unlucky, but no, that's just straight misplay then.
Yeah.
If you didn't have the corruption potion ticking and the auto on minion, that's pretty big as well.
And
That's the really big one.
after giving up that first blood, I mean, I can see Swift pushing his way back into this game super easily.
I feel like Swift just let out a primal scream
Yeah,
when he killed
without
on
a
the
doubt.
wind under the tower. Like
Very
literally,
likely.
everyone in a 5-mile radius heard him.
Yeah. Tree and Salvo went down in the bot lane. They just hear a primal scream and look up. He's 1 and
They
1.
know.
Yeah.
The time is now.
Yeah, so that's only the second kill of the game, going on to the 13-minute
Yeah.
mark, which is a very slow game for SBL games as it goes, and Dub goes in with Admiral to try to go in into Wang. Admiral gets really low, takes a couple tower shots on the way out, and has to flash out as well. So a failed gank attempt was also countered by a counter gank. Nothing comes of it, except for a mid lane push.
Really surprised we didn't see a lot heavier of an engage there. Like, stuffed. Absolutely
Oh,
stuffed.
yeah, they gotta clear this wave. Yeah, tons of pressure going on to the mid tower from Waifu Superstar. If On the Wind wasn't there, they might have been able to take that.
Yeah, I'm surprised because Ari still had ultimate, and I just wonder like if they really just wanted to play it safe because like they could have collapsed back onto him because even though Ari had flashed out of the fight, she could have ulted back in and tried to run someone down.
Yeah, especially Admiral, who just flashed out and was really low. But yeah, Chonlo gets hooked and played in the tower, takes a couple tower shots.
Pretty
as
useless TP.
Yeah.
They do get the flash out of Jinx, and like they got the flash out of both the bot lanes, so like that was actually a pretty good TP. I mean, they didn't get anything big for it, but
Yeah. Oh, Charm goes on to Dub Jump. He did get the Spirit Rush out of Ari though, but he is so low he has to back. No way he's gonna keep fighting in that jungle. And now Lieutenant's getting knocked up by Jinx and Thresh, and a lot of pressure going onto this bot. There's a bot tower here. 4 members of SBL Friendship trying to put the pressure down there. Meanwhile, AGS0 in the top lane, he's just whacking away. Next wave, he might be able to take this tower here.
yeah, no, he only needs one more wave for the tower if he gets
Yeah.
to the full. But this is looking like they're
Yeah.
gonna make a decent push on the mid to try and even that out.
Wow, this game turned from like just very peaceful, like quiet laning to like meta rotations.
Yep, we're gonna see the first tower go down now on the wind, suffering for that TP.
Yeah, 400 gold into the pocket of AGS0, and he's gonna like that. He's gonna hit a pretty good item break point, right? He's gonna finish. Is this Titanic or Ravenous?
It looks like it's going into Titanic.
Yeah, that's
Titanic. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
he's actually looking like he's gonna go
Oh.
ahead and complete the Black Cleaver.
Cleaver.
first.
Oh, he
Uh,
might. Yeah. So he's just doing Tiamat as
Yeah,
Black Cleaver.
because the big thing
Yeah.
with like Tiamat and like not so much Ravenous Hydra anymore, but like with Titanic, is sometimes you really just want it for like that like pseudo auto attack reset and more of that burst damage. Like because Titanic and like Ravenous like both items that scale pretty well, unless you like actually really need that wave clear. Like for example on Fiora, there's not always a big reason to rush it.
Right.
Which is really big though, is that he might be able to actually complete his Black Cleaver before Aurelia is able to complete Triforce.
Right, which is huge. I mean,
And which would
there's
be
no way
really,
really
really
can fight
big,
him 1v1.
Because, I mean, Triforce on Aurelia is a gigantic spike on her.
Yeah. I mean, just Trinity Force in general. If I think about League of Legends of yesteryear. I feel like Trinity Force on some users is just like the biggest power spike in the game, and Dragon with the knockback into Charm on the win, but he gets out with his life, and he uses the ult to try to lifesteal back, and Admiral goes in trying to get the ult onto Wang, and he does pick up that first kill. Dub Jump now. He's trying to stay alive in the backline here, but there's going to be no follow-up from Waifu Superstar, so... oh, actually, On the Win did go down at
Yep.
the end of that, yeah,
The
so
last
1
dash.
for 1.
the last dash got a charge onto on the way to finish him off.
No, I think what happened is he shot out his chromatic orb, and like right before he got frozen, he was able to get it out, and it was just far enough to hit Aurelia.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was watching.
So I just noticed that he went for the chase a little late. Like he thought about it. He's like, wait, I still have 2 alt charges. I'm gonna go get Aurelia. I'm gonna go finish her off. And there was a Lissandra.
Would have been a little cleaner if he would have just engaged a little bit harder.
Yeah, well, so far
or
this
taking
game,
it a little slower because he like ulted onto Aurelia's face and she was able just to stun her immediately.
so far this game is so incredibly close. Like both these teams are matching up really well. I think this is gonna be a really good series, guys.
I'm really excited for the series. Like this is about what I was expecting. Like as far as like how close this game's been. I mean, we saw a 1K lead for Boosted Friendship earlier. Now it's only to like just under 1K towards Waifu Superstar. Had a little bit of nice back and forth.
Yeah, and it's really just the CS lead in that top lane that's probably a lot of that gold. Let me check that. Oh my, yeah, 1.3k above on the wind. That's where HS0 sits right now.
After they pulled off that first blood, actually, for those who didn't notice, on the wind for that first blood didn't even get an assist over that. So.
Oh, that's rough, man. Yeah. But Waifu Superstar once again taking advantage of the absent-minded gameplay out of SBL's Friendship. No wards, no river control.
What you gotta do is you have to kill the Earth Dragon so you can kill dragons faster, so you can kill more dragons.
Yep.
Ah,
and now they have 2 Earth Dragons.
Yeah. Earth Dragon is actually probably one of like the better ones in like competitive fives play. In solo queue, it's largely ignored, just because of what it does. It's 10% additional per dragon to true damage to objectives, so towers, dragons, and Baron.
Well, in solo queue, we all know it's about those fire drakes. You
It
just want to do
used to be the Ocean Drake. Before this most recent patch, Ocean Drake was by far, even for solo and fives, Ocean Drake was far and away the strongest dragon, just with a very large amount of regen in and out of combat.
Yeah.
Now it's an out of combat, so it's more of a poking option.
Oh my goodness, Tree's gonna eat that whole culling.
Yeah, really big culling there, and he, Zelbo has to use a summoner heal to try to keep him alive there. And they expended so much on the Trundle, and that doesn't mean much because Trundle's just gonna regen it.
Yeah, I mean, even though they blew a lot on Trundle, they were still able to chunk Lucian out. Salvo had a lot of heads-up play as Tree was tanking that for him.
Yeah. And just a little bit of a CS lead for Evolite here in this bottom lane. Nothing too crazy, and largely this bottom lane has been pretty gank free, and they've just sort of farmed peacefully.
16 CS is a pretty decent lead.
Yeah. One thing I'm surprised about is Evolite almost has perfect CS, and I don't think I've ever seen that except out of you, Thrifty, on Karthus in the Baddie League before.
Yeah, that's pretty good, especially in a duo lane. In the meta, it is like double TPs and like junglers always coming in the bottom lane. Yeah. Fighting always happens in the bottom lane, so trying to farm peacefully like that isn't very common. Yeah, so that's a good point, man. That's pretty amazing CSing out of Evolite.
Yeah, no, very, very impressive CS. Doing...
Oh, on the win, casually sidesteps the knockup there. So that was beautiful. That was like a dance.
The Herald is not going to be taken this game.
And that's a shame because that would have been really good on Aurelia.
Oh, incredibly.
I was saying that'd be really good on like either of the top laners here, which is how they're like trying to develop the split push.
Wow, yeah, knock onto Trundle here. I feel like Kragan was ready to pull the trigger, but then Tree's like, no.
Yeah,
he had to reload.
I think that's exactly what was going on there in the team chat.
Oh yeah, Dub Jump goes in. He's gonna knock back Wang after he gets frozen in by the Lissandra, and he will Spirit Rush away with the blue buff. Still has the Ignite, but Flash is also down for him. So good gank out of Dub Jump once again into that mid lane. Once again, snowballing Thor, who's having a very good game, 2-0-0 on this Lissandra. Yeah.
That's something I actually wanted to touch on earlier. When you were mentioning like how normally I guess like, oh, we got the double TP, everyone's TP into bot lane and everything. It's like actually a lot of this action's been sent around mid and top. That's where like the very large majority of this action is. Until of course I mentioned that we have Zach going towards the bot. But
yeah, Boosted has made a visit down here, but nothing came of it because I think they they put up a really good defense. They did the right thing to avoid getting tower dove and then just wasted their time.
Yep. And I mean, also like we had like Jarvan. Actually, Jarvan blew TP on that last play off that gank. Like he TP'd to the mid turret. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I did not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
that's
good
multiple
note
times.
there.
Like Jarvan has spent his TP multiple times towards the mid lane. Aurelia has also been around mid lane a lot, but mostly like she TP'd bot that one time.
Yeah, and so
But this game has been a
power play.
lot of pressure from Boosted Friendship towards this.
Oh, and they go in with a huge wombo combo on the win in the thick of things, trying to get the damage down onto the carries. Trundle leading the charge, tanking the damage, and Admiral flashes in, picks up the last hit onto Tree here. Swift now, he is scared for his life. He has to flash out. Charm won't connect, and it's just going to be a 1-for-0.
The Boosted Friendship able to protect that mid tower 3v4.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my
comes
god,
another
Admiral going in,
engage.
he's got a self vault and try to stay alive and to take damage away from Waifu Superstar. Trundle does get knocked out. but he
Oh,
gets out
man.
Of the
Oh,
rocket, but
no.
he's killed by Zap on the back end, but they will get the tower for it. 4 members still here in the mid lane for SS Boosted Friendship. They might be going for 2.
I wouldn't play. I don't think they can.
They won't.
No,
No,
I
It's
don't
a little
think-
risky.
A little greedy,
That's some risky
Yeah.
business. But
but that's a really nice lead. They just picked up a sizable one because they just got 4 kills for 1, and they picked up the opposing mid tower. And it looks
Yeah.
like they're going to go up top, and they will not be able to like be stopped taking this top tower. So that's 2 kills and a 3-kill like advantage towards their
I
team.
think Waifu
And all on the
Superstar-
right people. They got all their kills on their mid carry and their bot carry.
Yeah.
Wow.
That spells disaster
That's
for
picture perfect.
Waifu Superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think Waifu Superstar just got too big for their britches there. They're like, all right, we're just going to force this mid down. We're all really big, but they just did not respect that wombo.
That Zac just jumped in. Beautiful Zac jump. This is not the same
Ooh.
Zac that we saw.
Was
This is
that
not
week
good.
1?
Flay back into Chompers, into the body slam, into the
Oh
Krog
my
assault, into
God,
the Charm,
get
knock
to-
up into the spear, the Charm, oh!
Get yourself
That
out of there,
Trundle
Trundle.
is a
That
ping pong ball. He got
CCJ.
bounced all over the place.
I
Was,
think that's what they were trying to do.
oh man, and Salvo's actually gonna go down. Colleen did so much damage there, and it was on the win, who was able to pick up that kill, and now Waifu Superstar, they are on the retreat, and they won't get out clean here. Double kill for Lucian, and 3 members dead for Waifu Superstar
4
over the
O
1.
carries.
Yeah,
Both
they
of
did
their
get the
carries are
tier
4-0.
2 though in the mid.
Yeah. They're, I mean, this Style Drum Zac is way better than the performance you saw from him on week 1. He's a,
Thank
not
you
even
for
the same
bringing it up.
person. It's
That
Xiao
still
Wei Xiao.
triggers me.
They boosted. But really,
Wow.
really nice performance out of both of the carries from Boosted Friendship here. And they're actually going to be able to secure this 3rd Earth Drake. So this is going to be a 2
Wow.
Earth Drakes to 1.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
9 to 30, what, 30% increase
Yeah,
on true
30%
damage?
increased true damage. It makes it so you can do Baron ridiculously fast. Is like one of the advantages of having this, like a triple or even like double, like just casually 20% extra damage against Baron. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
I think what Boosted Friendship is going to need to do is they're going to need to wake up and realize that the first 2 dragons really snuck out from under them, but now with this Earth Drake, I think they're probably going to want to focus harder, especially on this Ocean Drake being the next dragon to spawn.
Ooh,
Yeah. I don't think Ocean Drake actually has too big of an impact in this particular game.
Right.
With the most recent changes to the patch, Ocean Drake only gives regeneration out of combat. Maybe might see how if White starts winning fights, it might be something that's interesting to them. But the vast majority of these fights have all been decided in such a quick fashion. There hasn't been anything where like this out of combat regeneration is that big of a deal.
Right, yeah, and Ocean Drake's always favored those like sieging poke compositions, and this team comp out as Boosted Friendship, they're not doing that.
No.
I wanted to go way back to that first initiation out of SS Boosted Friendship on their tier 1 mid tower. You know, you guys pointed out with the Zac jump over the wall,
Yeah.
like, completing the wombo combo. I don't know if there's a word for it. Maybe I'm gonna call it the Fiddle theorem. And it's basically where you forget that Fiddle can do Fiddle things. I think they just forgot like what Zac's all about, because
that Zac's gonna come from the fog of war, fly over, and just like dunk onto the 4 of them that are like for some reason grouped directly on top of each other.
Oh yeah, and the hook lows down at the Trundle, and now he's
CT
gonna experience
coming
the CT chain once again. He tries to subjugate and stay alive, face the mountain is ticking, but on the wind will actually trade a kill back onto Jarvan there. Salvo gonna pick up a kill for himself as well,
Lieutenant
but it's gonna
doing
be
too much
answered
damage.
back. So just a 1 for 2, but on the wind gets hooked into the tower, takes tower shots, and dies
Oh my
for free.
god. What is he doing? What is
Oh,
he
just
doing?
Very,
That was
Like-
perfect until that.
like both times, like this boosted team is like I think that's how like Waifu's gonna have to win this game. Like boosted played that fight so much better than Waifu did, but they started the fight with getting someone caught, and they ended the fight with someone getting caught out of position.
Yeah. Tree is just once again, like always, a madman on the stress, and yeah, he like you said starts every single fight with a hook, and then the flay into the chompers, into the zap, into the charm, into the knockup. Like what? Why is SS Boosted Friendship doing this?
Yeah. Something to point out though is like if you're just looking at this, it's like the people they are getting though, it's consistently the same 2 people, but it's not the ones you really need to get. Dub Drums being able to still initiate these fights the way they want. Lissandra and Lucian have been safe. All 3 of those people have 0 deaths, whereas it's the Trundle and Aurelia who've been getting caught and blown up in all these fights.
And I mean, in the long run, that's if I'm boosted friendship, that's who I want to be getting caught. Like,
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean,
grill.
ideally you don't have anyone get caught, but if you're gonna have someone get caught, you'd rather not be one of your carries or your primary CC/initiator.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Zap on the Baron, and Medic will take some damage from the big snake there. He actually faced him on.
Slap the Baron a little bit. He did it. Hit him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Baron slapped him around. Yeah. So just a 3K gold lead right now for SS Boosted Friendship. At the 27-minute mark, tied in towers, only down to Drake. And they're trying to make a siege under this mid tower, but it's not going to be very successful. They have tons of wave clear on this Waifu Superstar lineup, and they've already shown that they can pick people out, especially in the open. Yeah, I think SF's Friendship, they're just going to have to deny vision on this side of the jungle and maybe wait for Dragon to come up or get a favorable initiation out of Dub Drum.
Yeah. I think that this Dragon is almost as more important as like the potential for making the Elder Dragon stronger. Like this, the bonus of it is nice, but there's been so few long siege situations, and maybe we will get that, and that could be something that's long term. But for at least the short term, this Dragon is more of just for setting up for the possible Elder Dragon. There hasn't been any very long siege situations where anyone's getting terribly poked out, so.
Yeah. Looks like SS Boosted Friendship, they are setting up vision in the Barren River, trying to take control of that. Meanwhile, Waifu Superstar sets up wards on their side of the jungle, on that red side. Looking for a defense onto this tier 2 here, because we have 5 members of SS Boosted Friendship looking for this tower. But it's going to be a straight 5v5 over this tower. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger, though.
The Waifu Superstar does have some pretty solid wave clear. Just the Jinx, Ahri, and Gragas all provide quite a solid amount of wave clear. That is definitely one point where they have over this boosted friendships comp.
Yeah.
Lissandra is okay at wave clear, but she does have to blow some high impact spells for it. And the same thing with Lucian overall. I mean, he does have the piercing light, but
yeah,
it's not the same as like Jinx auto crit with ranged with Hurricane, just one shot at waves. Like, oh, caster keeps boom.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah, and both teams are just really looking for an in here. They're dancing around, trying to deny vision here. Ooh, that might have been the time to go in for Dub Drum. Swift checking it out. Yeah, and they're very safe too. I mean, they have a lot of ways to get out this Waifu Superstar lineup, so. And now the Dragon is live. Admiral is not there. He's clearing out a pink ward in the Baron Pit. He does have teleport. Actually, all the teleports are... Oh, actually, just the 2 teleports on SS Boosted Friendship are up right now. And they've already started the Dragon. They're actually in the Dragon Pit. Swift goes in. He's actually in the back line. He's onto Lieutenant. Cataclysm goes down, but he goes too far in front of his team. He's the first to die. Dub Jump now. He's knocking up in the back, but he will trade his life for the team. Tree will flay and survive as well. Admiral self-ulting to try to stay alive here, and Captain with a kill onto Tree to finish him off. Lieutenant's now in the back line. On the win, he found it in the back. It's going to be really low salad. He goes down too. Only 1 member alive for Waifu Superstar.
They better be careful. They're all really low.
Yeah,
misses the charm.
Oh, but the Ignite will pick him up, so an ace for SS Boosted Friendship. Only getting 1 kill for Waifu.
So they should be able to take... I saw Ping go down on the inhib tower. Looks like that's what they're going to be wanting to push for, and then probably fall back to Ocean Drake.
Yeah, I think it might be a little risk. I think it'd be probably best to just take 1 turret, but we see them going for it. It will be close. They might not be able to also get the Ocean Drake.
He doesn't have ult, though, so that's
No,
one
he
thing
doesn't
they
have
don't to
ults.
worry about.
Yeah, I just think that the Waifu Superstar team might be able to get the Dragon off of this, but I almost positive that having an Inhib Tower broken open is just a better tactical advantage here than having the Ocean Drake. But it looks like Waifu Superstar is going to be slow to rotate, actually.
Yeah.
Looks like they're
So
touching
they
on
will
Baron.
also get this Ocean Drake.
Right. See, if I was in Swift's seat right now, I would immediately call for the Baron.
Yeah,
Because,
that's exactly what they're doing.
Yep, okay,
They're going for the
that's-
Baron instead.
Because the members of SS Boost Friendship, they have to back
The problem is they're
after
spending all
that
this time
fighting.
clearing a vision. They
Yeah.
should just be going for it. This is one of those things where they know we're doing it, so we just need to freaking do it. Like,
Yep. Yeah, and there's only going to be 2 members coming up. They do have those 2 Mountain Drakes from
and these two
Stone
Mountain
before.
Drakes are providing a lot of time.
Yeah.
But the SS Boost Friendship is closing in very quickly.
No, they're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
be able to
they
burn
got
this
it.
down.
It's secured easily, but now they're in the Baron Pit. They might be in a good choke point for SS Boosted Friendship. They see the retreat, but
No, they're not gonna be
I
able
don't
to pick that up.
yeah, there's no fight to happen here. Yeah. So yeah, great. See, that's the brilliant shot calling that we all expected there. I mean, it's also, I don't want to give them the credit of brilliant. I think it's a very obvious choice, but I'm glad that they made that choice.
Yeah.
The second that you see them, like, because they had wars on that area, the second that they see them going down towards that bottom half of the map, and you know how low they were, you go and you take that Baron. Or you go and you make them come, like, if they decide to not back, you get a free fight. And, like, you can afford to take, like, Baron damage and then turn and fight because the enemy team is so low.
Yeah. In both ways, I guess for both teams, I feel like the choices they made right there benefit them both. So, as a Boosted Friendship, they took the buff that's gonna be more beneficial potentially into later points of the game, because now Elder Drake, they also have, or Elder Drake, and they now have 2 dragons that will be amplified if they choose to fight over it. But Waifu Superstar, they want to keep scaling. They want this Jinx to keep getting big. They want Swift to get back and get tanky so he can become that initiator that they need. So the Baron's just gonna keep this game going out longer because they can just keep pushing out these waves. I feel like both teams were pretty happy with their choices there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
But it's a 6k goal lead for SS Boosted Friendship, and they probably feel like they're definitely in the driver's seat here. They have been making some pretty good executions on the team fights that have happened so far.
One thing I want to bring up from the last team fight is, well, the first one that happened was Thor was derping around by blue buff, kind of watching for his TP, and then he TP'd to a pink ward in Riverbush by Dragon, the one that Zach's standing on top of right now. And then it seemed like 4 members of Waifu Superstar just stood there and waited for him to teleport so they could just insta-gib him, while Swift, being as squishy as he is, just kind of dove the back line and tried to kill Lucian. Not effective in that aspect, and not only that, but Thor was able to get away, like, unscathed out of that TP.
Yeah, the self ult brought, like, it bought enough time for them to kill off Jarvan, and then they could just regroup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the problem with this Jarvan build, where he's not getting a defense fight until 3rd.
Right,
Yeah.
and I mean, because he didn't get super far ahead, he wasn't able to 100-0 the carry.
Well, I think what happened was he got that kill onto Aurelia, was probably assumably pretty hyphy after that, and just like, I'm gonna carry this game, this is mine now, and just has been ineffective with Ravenous Hydra.
Oh wait, well,
Oh, that was
yeah.
Yep.
I was just listening to both your beautiful voices. I was like idly staring at the game, and I realized, like, oh, they're going for the inhibitor.
oh god.
Talk.
Panic! Sound the alarm!
Yeah, there's no way you're gonna take an inhibitor like for free right now.
No.
For Waifu Superstar,
Especially
just
with
like that.
enhanced recall with Baron.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dava went down, picked up that tower, was back right quick. I mean, because it also gives you the extra move speed running out of the fountain, so...
Yep. So yeah, Waifu Superstar, they're gonna take the scuttle here, in front of Baron. 4 members over there. I think they're trying to meet this wave into the top lane, going for the tier 2. SS Boosted Friendship, they see this as well, and they're gonna get a couple recalls out of it. Yeah, ping goes down. Looks like they want to defend, but it's all a ruse.
Yep.
It's a rotation, a translation even.
Oh my. I think it's like... They're trying, I think they're so confident in their fight right now, and that they're strong wombo, that they want to go ahead and meet Waifu Superstar, and instead of just trying to go in for the race, because they could have just marched down mid there and taken the inhib in an exchange.
Right, because they thrive just like in the tier 1 mid tower. That basically that first fight that got them snowballing. They are totally happy defending a tower, but being in the open, that's what scares them because they've shown that they're able to get thresh hooked very easily.
Yeah. Between that and also, like, I think they like it, like, with this team comp, they like having a set terms of engagement. Like, you're going to be here, we're going to be here. Because it lets, like, them set up with the Zac and use the Trundle pillar instead of being, like, this fight can be coming from anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really low tier 2 tower here. I don't know. Yeah, Waifu Superstar, they're gonna concede this one. Give that up. Dubjum was channeling that elastic slingshot. That would have been pretty cool. He's really big now. He's 0-0 and 10. So like, let's just talk about his performance so far this game. Really good game 1 for Dubjum.
Yeah, he's
very
really
very impressive. He might not have like the highest skill prediction that goes to like for this game, but I'm definitely the player I'm most impressed with. He's been in the right spot at the right time, and he's had some really big slingshots and ults.
Right, and he didn't mess up the early game like that one disastrous Zac game that I'll never forget.
That's true. This is the exact opposite of that game, though.
Yeah. Oh, Cullen goes out just to tickle him a bit, and
Ooh,
Admiral
that's not
goes
a
in, but
tickle.
Dubjum lands a 2-man knockup onto the choke point, and now Thresh and Graugus are cut off from the team, and they're going back in. Tree will be the first to go down, but Dubjum, he's a very, very tiny Zac.
Zero
He's
got
gonna have to run
deleted.
away, but the exhaust goes down. Double kill for Thor. Kragan is at a sliver of health. Lieutenant on the win, and they're not able to pick it up.
That was
They better turn around and
ridiculous.
burn this.
That
this
Zac
dragon.
knockup with the pillar was just absolutely disgusting. He knocked 2 people over into the pillar, and then he proceeded to knock up the people in the back line and just keep them all distracted while the rest of his team were able to kill both Jarvan and Thresh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's a perfect choke point for their team comp.
Very good play out of both Resquect and Dubdrum there.
Yeah, the tank line for us as Boost of Friendship have been really playing phenomenally.
Let's see the Elder Dragon.
Ooh.
So
I think
the ping
did we
goes
see
up.
Elder Dragon last week?
No, we did not. This is first Elder Dragon of the SBL.
Yeah. And Dubdub's really low here, and Kragan and Wang, they're here to try to threaten it. They're letting Kragan get so
What
close,
are
and
they
actually
doing?
Oh
gets
my
Elder
goodness.
Dragon away. Captain gets ignited and he tries to get caught out calling as they retreat, and he just walks up and smites the dragon.
Awful.
But
Just
my
awful.
Wang, he might get caught out here. Blade to try to dissuade them from chasing, and they're gonna keep going. Admiral uses the E to go in, and Wang will go down here. Legendary for Admiral in the
Lissandra ult.
to finish him off, but it's just one dead Ahri for Elder Dragon.
I mean, of course, I
Oh,
jinxed him. It was Caster's Curse.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I don't know. Like in that first team fight where they were able to
Yeah.
pinch off Thresh and Gragas, it looked like they were trying to burn down Gragas so that they wouldn't have to worry about him smiting and stealing it, and then
Yeah.
they just fucking give it away.
Yeah, I feel like
Unbelievable.
That was definitely like a lack. I mean, Dubdrum did miss the smite there, but I think that was more like lack of team communication. Like Kragan's a higher level than Dubdrum, so like that is just as much on their team.
Does
and did
As
they
Dubdrum.
actually change it where is Smite still affected
I
by
think-
No, they
Sandra?
fixed the bug. They fixed the
Okay.
bug
Okay.
from that. But like he still had 2 levels.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
Like,
like in my world, like
Yeah.
people always get upset like when their jungler and solo queue like misses a
Yeah.
smite, but you can't let why do you even put it up to 50-50? Why do you let the enemy jungler get in range to smite? That's the 4 other players' mistake right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because like they had Kragan down to like 25%.
Yeah,
But someone that like that was just a lack of communication.
right. Well,
I mean, there is a
it's-
slight problem with the jungler because the jungler is supposed to be able to smite that, and he was in the better position. But when they have 2 levels down,
Oh yeah,
that's
this
more of a
Baron goes
team
down
error.
super quick here.
oh my goodness.
It's just gonna be Trundle out in the enemy jungle, just fighting them off. So yeah, very quick Baron take for SS Boosted Friendship, and they have a 7k gold lead, and they're all potted up, dude. We got basically full builds for Lissandra and Lucian, very close at least. And now they have the Baron buff with the Expose inhibitor in the mid lane, so this is gonna be a really big power play coming in for SS Boosted Friendship. Waifu Superstar, they're at their inhibitor tower. They're gonna try to defend it here. And look, yep, wave clear, and it's gone. But that pesky, hooks it into the tower. Nice. mean, it's still looking good for SS Boots of Friendship so far, but I feel like this game could take a turn for the worst. Salvo is at a pretty good item breakpoint for Jinx. He's working on Last Whisper, so he doesn't have the Lord Dominic's regard quite yet. But he's still doing quite a bit of damage if he's left untouched in this fight.
Yeah. Respect, or not respect, Evil Eye's finishing off his 5th item, like his final item in his build. I mean,
yeah, that Lucian build does a
full
lot
build
of damage.
Lucian, and it does. Something to remember is also this build actually does like more damage to squishies than the traditional build. It's something to think about. Like, there's a reason this build is so good because of how fast he can apply the Black Cleaver.
Yeah, and Dub Drop, he channels it and he goes in. He's just gonna try to ult and persuade his team to take the tower, and he does. He's gonna not even, he actually gets pretty low in the backline here, and now Salvo, he's in the backline, free hit, a double kill for Evelite, but Admiral goes back in, he lays the damage down onto Salvo, and that's gonna be it, folks. Triple kill for Evelite, and that's gonna be game 1, going over to SS Boosted Friendship.
Wow. Such wow.
Such wow. Yeah, they didn't even lose a single member there.
No.
A very clean tower dive.
Both carries going 10-0.
Oh, look
I
at
don't know about the carries, and a 0-0-16 from the double jump set. Impressive from all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Very good game.
Yeah.
All 3 of those played excellently.
That's a way you want to start off your semifinal best of 5.
Yeah. No, what started off as an even game up to like the 15 to 20 minute mark, very quickly was solidified a very solid lead for Boosted Friendship that they kept the entire game.
Yeah, and they didn't throw it away. They didn't make too many like terrible split-second decisions. I mean, there was a missed smite there, but for the most part, they kept their cool. They set up their waves, and they basically just pulled the trigger on fights. They said, "Hey, we're gonna fight at this tower," and they did. Yeah, very impressive game 1 for SS Booster Friendship, but we're gonna take a short stream break here, about 3 minutes, and we'll be back.
We're gonna be keeping the stream up.
Yeah,
So
we'll
don't
just
go
mute it.
anywhere. Listen to some cool music, but don't touch that browser.
Don't even think about it.
Sound muted. Sound resumed.
All right, and welcome back, folks, to the Swain Batty League. We are diving back into the semifinal match here. SS Booster Friendship able to take game one in a very, very convincing fashion. That was a very slow roll, but it was a sure roll out of SS Booster Friendship. They had a very good game. Some really good early game ganks, counter ganks to snowball them into a nice mid game, but anything can happen. And if there's any team that I think can come back in a best of 5, it would be Waifu Superstar.
Yeah, absolutely, and that just kind of attests to their extreme amount of fives experience.
Right, it's tons of 5s experience. Like, all of these players have played many best of 3s, many best of 5s, a lot of like intense tournament play, not even just on land, but even online. All of these are SBL veterans through and through. So, and some rookies actually, isn't it? Was Squekt and Evelites?
Yes, they are the rookies.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really these old vets. They have to teach these young kids what a best of 5 is all about, and it might just be like a complete 90 or 180 really for the draft for Waifu.
Well, I think they definitely need to change something up with their draft.
I agree they need to, but the likelihood that they will,
it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Well, it always depends on like picks and bans as well. I'm like, bans affect it, and then they have first pick this time. Oh, they don't have first pick.
So for folks who don't know, the higher seed has pick of side 135 in games 135, and so it looks like, you know, because Waifu was higher seed, they actually opted for purple side game 1.
So they will have purple side all 5 games this series.
So
wait, do we make them decide 1-3-5 at the beginning, or do we decide each game?
It was decided before the series, I believe.
Okay.
So I'm not 100%
so there will
sure on
not
that.
Be a side switch?
There will not be a side switch this game.
Because Waifu opted to choose purple side. At least for game 1. I don't know. They might have chosen differently for the other games. No, wait. I can't remember how we did that. Is it in between the series? Like, I'm trying to think of professionals, like when they pick.
Professionals, you have to set all of them at the beginning.
Right, that's right. Yeah, and I think that's what Swift enacts as well in the SBL. So, yeah, honestly, I would imagine, because Waifu Superstar's never been a team that had like a super high priority first pick. They always like to get the counter pick for Swift or Wang. I mean, Wang did have that last pick, and he did pick the Ari into Lysandra. But didn't really make anything of it in the 1v1 per se. I mean, there was a lot of jungle pressure onto Wang, but I mean, what do you guys think of Wang's Ari?
Yeah. Just Vol'jin, I'm gonna go backwards and forwards. So to go backwards, also another advantage of purple side is the fact that like when there's a lot of power picks, or like if they're and on metas when there's either like a very small amount of power picks, but it's like not up to everyone's band, so there's normally like 3 or 4. You often see red side being favored as well, in addition to the counter pick. Because it's like, oh yeah, well, we'll leave 3 power picks up, you get 1, then we get 2. So that's another reason. Red side can also be popular in certain metas. But, going to Wang's Ari, I was not terribly impressed by it. We've seen it once before, and it was like a bit better in the regular season, but this game, it was eh.
I think that's just kind of attributed to Thor and Dub Drum just having his number all through the mid game when Ari really like wants to roam around and get kills, but he was just kind of locked up between the Lysandra ult and then the Zac ricochet or the slingshot. Just kept him bound up constantly and always having to use his summer spells and his ultimate. He just didn't really have any time to show his true colors.
I agree that there was a lot of pressure put onto him by the Thor Dub Drum combo, like a lot. And I mean, you still had Aurelia come by, and you had like Squekt coming up on Trundle. Like, there was a lot of pressure put on him, but even then, like, there was just some times when I was like, he could have like either re-engaged on a fight or like he missed a bunch of charms.
Yeah,
there was just a couple other things that were like a little lackluster, like where he could have gotten out if he hit the charm, or like he queued the wrong way.
Oh yeah, I saw that a couple times too.
Yeah, I mean he had some good moments too, but like there was also like it was very hit or miss.
Yeah, I would agree, and it might have actually just been how the team compositions played out, because you did have Trundle and Zac constantly in the backline, and I don't think Wang ever really got a charm onto Evelite, or I mean,
No,
On the
he did
Wind
not.
was
He
diving
didn't
a
even
lot,
get.
and
He
he died
isn't
a
even
lot.
getting on Evolite, like at all.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard for Ari to do. Like people like always think that's like, oh well, she's like all this mobile. I can always get to the back, and she actually has a lot more trouble than other mobility mages getting to the back without like flanking.
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, another one of Wang's good picks is LeBlanc, and she can essentially find herself in the back line, and then suddenly she's behind her own team again. So
Right.
I'd have to agree with you. Ari is one of the more difficult champions to get into the back line with.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
We might even
anyway.
see a LeBlanc pick here, actually. Maybe LeBlanc would be a better matchup against
I don't know if I'd
Cassandra?
want.
I don't know.
I mean, against Lissandra, yeah, maybe.
Really, it's
I
just
don't.
so scary.
I would not want to be. I don't think LeBlanc's like really good against how either of these teams are playing.
Oh no, I'm just using that as an example against
Okay.
Ari's mobility.
Oh yeah. No. I was talking about 30 was mentioning picking LeBlanc.
Yeah, well, I guess obviously we don't know any of the picks. They don't either, so
Yeah.
being like, yeah, we're gonna last pick LeBlanc, 100%. Don't care what they pick, would be kind of foolish. But it is an option, like Dan said. So, and Wang has shown that he can play a multitude of champions. And if we go way back into Wang's career, he's also known for a lot of assassin play. So not only LeBlanc, but he is like a Talon one-trick pony in my mind. I've seen him like just go completely off in solo queue on Talon. So that could be something as well. I don't know if anyone's ever tried to take the fight to Thor in the mid lane, like try to bring tons of pressure, like maybe with a jungler plus assassin combo. So that might be something to try to mix up here.
It is real scary though. I would not want to play mid against Thor just because his champ pool is so diverse. What are you gonna pick? You almost have to just save the counter pick just for Thor.
Yeah.
And Wang is at the bottom of
disagree.
the draft order too, so
You think you want to counterpick top lane, or?
I think them counterpicking top lane is something they can get a lot more productive with. Thor's play is very, very safe. He kind of matches the other. Something I've noticed, like, he kind of matches the other player. Like if they're gonna farm, he's gonna sit back and farm. If they're gonna be aggressive, he'll sacrifice farm and he'll fight back a bit as well. And the other thing is that like, while he plays a lot of these champions, like he's got like some power picks, and then he's got like a pool of like a bunch of other champions, and then like everything else. Like he doesn't have like he plays a lot of champions, but there's only a few that he plays like well above. Like his Azir is really really good, and we've seen him do like actually surprisingly well with this Lissandra lately. And we saw him do Corki when Corki was big. We saw him do a lot with Corki, but like all the other champions were kind of like a step below. So it's like you don't need to save the counter pick, especially because some of the champions he's playing with don't care too much about power
they
like
just
counter
got
picks.
3 of the same picks as their last.
Yeah.
lineup.
So this was an interesting draft. All the bans were the same except Waifu opting to take out the Lissandra, leaving open
Instead of the
Maokai.
Maokai.
Same first pick though on the Lucian, which I totally agree with. Like Salvo is a very good AD carry. Evolite's a very good AD carry player. Lucian's really strong right now. One of those players is either gonna pick Lucian or it's gonna get banned.
I think Lucian might be the defining champion in this patch.
Definitely this patch and maybe this series. So the first rotation for Waifu was actually going to be a Poppy and Sivir. The Poppy can actually be flexed between top or jungle because we've seen Kragan play Poppy jungle in the past, but not too much success. I believe he went 0-1 on that in the regular season.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, and that's going to be a Sejuani pick, and they'll definitely be going over to Kragan, one of his go-tos in the past. So it's going to be a Poppy top lane, which is obviously a very safe blind top lane pick. So once again, the mid lane pick is going to be the counter. And yeah,
It might not
Tree
be.
is going to
That
play
could
some
be a
support
mid-Zyra.
Zyra today.
That could be a mid Zyra.
It could be. It could be flexed, you're right. But I've seen Tree's matches where he actually been playing a lot of Zyra support. Zyra actually is the highest win rate right now? Yep, she's the highest win rate support on this patch at 54%.
Are you talking about like overall, or are you talking champion GG?
Champion.eg.
Okay, because that posts from platinum only, like platinum higher only.
Platinum,
so
yep.
That actually has some ups and downs from it. I think it's important to look at both, but
Both, like, flat and below.
I think it's also interesting in looking at below. I think that can say a lot, like if like it's the same or if it's different, like greatly varying.
That's
to
true,
compare,
yeah.
like how win rates.
There's a lot of ways to read into all stats, especially champion.gg, because it is sort of, high elo targeted. But
also
yeah,
a smaller sample size as like Plat and higher is only like 10% of the community.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So the team comp is decided for Restless Boosted Friendship, and they're gonna round it out with Annie and Maokai. So they are opting to pick up the Maokai that was left open.
I really
that
like
will
that
go.
Maokai pick.
Yeah, and Maokai
Yeah.
versus Poppy, very classic matchup in the top lane nowadays. Two really good scaling tank champions. Not going to be a lot of fighting in the top lane. I assume a lot of farming, a lot of wet noodling, and once again, probably could be decided by the jungle pressure. And you do have two jungle tanks as well, so both have pretty good level 3 ganks though. So we might see basically the same exact thing that happened last game. Kraken coming into that top lane and Dubdrum there trying to answer.
Yeah. We'll also see double TP from both teams now.
Yeah,
These two teams
that's a good adaptation.
These teams have like been the two teams that favor the double TP meta the most throughout the series. Like, and we saw some other teams taking it. I think actually every other mid laner at some point took TP, but like these two teams have always taken it like multiple times. I think Blab pretty much only took it when he was playing Scion. I don't know if Zwerves did. Cruise Master did a few times.
Yeah.
I took it once.
Yep.
I don't know about. Did Zwerves take it at all?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yep, at least once or twice near the end of the season there.
Yeah. I think I recall doing it a few times. But like these two teams, like, whereas the other teams were like they chose to do like it was more of like they chose to do double PP. It's like they're differentiating from their normal. These teams were like their normal is taking double TP.
Mm. Yeah, and I'd say just as far as the early game teleporting into a lane to supplement a gank, the champions versus Boosted Friendship are, in my opinion, probably better at doing that.
I agree.
Yeah, Annie Flash Tibbers always still strong. A little less damage up front, obviously, because she was one of the champions that was changed slightly, and now Tibbers today does ridiculous sustained damage. Like Tibbers is an actual threat now.
I mean, before he like had the Sunfire damage area, and that was actually a decent amount, like especially if you got like 2 or 3 ticks, but it wasn't anything like too crazy.
Right.
But
Enraged Tibbers.
But the Enraged Tibbers, like the fact that he like runs so much faster and he keeps on them means you can get even more Sunfire attacks, and then his autos actually do a good chunk of damage.
Yeah, that's it's gonna be something to look out for, because from the Annies that I've seen so far on 6.9 and 6.10, if they start getting ahead, it becomes really oppressive actually. Like not only do you still have all that good tons of AP damage Annie, but yeah, just the Tibbers on top of that also scales well with AP. So yeah, something to look out for. And also obviously the Twisted Advance teleport is really good, and On the Wind has always shown through his SBL career that he's really good at teleporting into the bot lane to gank.
Yeah. I
Which
think that's
something we might see
him
this
and
game.
Scott
We didn't see it last.
No, him and Scott Schnott were like always like the ones that like had like the better use of TP. AJ0 showing that he didn't really have it the last game, but he has traditionally actually also had very good TP usage throughout the season.
I'd actually argue that out of the 3 people who did bring teleport last game, that mid laner actually was the one who used it to the most effectiveness.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, no, I
had some
that.
pretty poor TPs on the Aurelia, but
no, like I said, this was like the odd game for both On the Wind and AJ0.
I would have liked to see the Ignite on Tree Zyra. Zyra's support is really good in the laning phase, obviously. Lots of poke, tons of damage. Like the seed, her new passive is really ridiculous. You can lay down so many seeds just by standing still in the brush.
Yeah.
And coupled with like an Ignite, I think that could actually be a really good kill lane onto Lucian Trundle.
You actually have to leave the bushes for the seeds to plant, but
Really?
Yep.
I thought they just go in the brush.
Not if there's one already in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't let you like make a murder bush, but it doesn't give you away being in a bush. It just waits. So the second you leave the bush, it plants a seed.
Yeah, and you don't want to disagree with Thrifty, the resident Zyra expert.
That's true. I only played Zyra, the new Zyra, last night.
How do you think about the new Zyra, or what do you think about the new Zyra?
Also still very good. Actually better than she was before, but they shifted her shrinks around a little bit. Her poke is a little weaker, which is something that was very strong about her before, but her sustained damage went even higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, she still has similar burst, but her burst isn't as unconditional. If that makes any sense. Like, you have to have a little bit more setup for her burst damage. Like,
Yeah.
before, you could just literally flash and blow someone up if you were big enough. And you can still do that now, but, like, it requires, like, a little bit more. There's, like, another checkbox you have to mark before you can be like, oh, I'm going to flash kill this guy. But
Right.
it's still very fun. The cute hitbox is a little awkward, but it gets my seal of approval.
Yeah, the damage ceiling for like her ult, because it still gives is it just attack speed, or is it a bonus attack damage for the plants?
It makes them do 50% more damage.
Right. So like
It doesn't give them attack speed anymore, but they have a higher base attack speed.
yeah, but the fact that you can just have that many more plants in an ultimate, in like I'm sure people have seen videos of like Zyra's like almost soloing Baron at like later points of the game, just like standing in the Baron pit and waiting for the seeds to spawn. It gets really crazy.
I would say, like, I think like the second game I played with her is like when I realized I'm like, I still like this Zyra. Was like, got an ult off, had like 7 plants in the ulti, and I got a quadra kill after casting all of my spells once. Like, none of my spells killed it. Plants just murdered everyone on the enemy team. I was like, this is good. I like this Zyra still.
This is good.
To Summoner's Rift.
But looks like we're gonna see nothing too crazy out of here for the start of this game. Just lining up, everyone kind of poking around.
What's she doing in here,
30
buddy?
seconds until minions spawn.
I don't think I have any sound.
Huh? That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I say, yeah, Annie. As you were going back to that Annie though, she still snowballs. Like, just like how old Annie snowballed, new also snowballs hard, and it's scary. Does some good damage.
Actually, I'm gonna leave the game, but
Minions
I'll be right back.
spawn.
Oh, that's fine. I'll keep you updated.
Pretty standard starts. It looks like everybody's just gonna kind of wall
Yep.
defense and then
I
get
say,
the
we're
Gronk
gonna-
and Stone Bros.
We're gonna see a really nice leash for Kragan here out of the bot lane though. Zyra's got multiple seeds down, so he's
Oh
gonna get
my
that Q
goodness.
in those plants. Or
This
That's
is what
gonna
a
be
jungle
really nice.
dreams of.
I know, it's like that's something I didn't even think about. Her leashes are ridiculous now. Get those plants going, they can tank some hits, deal a lot of damage.
See, I used to like to play Zyra support bottom, but I haven't yet, and the thing that's keeping me from doing it is the passive, how her seedlings just kind of randomly sprout around.
Yeah.
It seems it's that checkbox that you have to check that
Yeah.
it makes me wonder if it's worth it. But you say it's worth it, so I'm excited
Yeah.
to see how Tree does.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like you can actually like. There's a decent amount of control they have. Like, they're not totally random. Like, if you're in the bush, it always tries to place them in bushes, especially if you're in a bush. And then if you sit in a bush that there's one already, your passive doesn't proc, so it won't make it until you leave the bush. So you can kind of use that to your advantage.
Yeah, and I think one of the greatest changes is they upped her base movement speed.
God.
Yeah.
She before was tied with the likes of Anivia for the
Yeah.
slowest movement speed in the game. There is a few 80 carries that had that, but 80 carries traditionally have move speed built into it.
Tree
Really
with a
nice
low
pillar
flash.
catching Tree out of the way, having to flash immediately. Not where you want to be with a very
Yeah.
mobile support like that.
Yeah, no, that you lose a ton of pressure on a range support like
Yeah.
that. That's huge, man. That's crazy, and
That's
it's
really
a good
big.
respect flash out of Tree because there was a lot of potential there to kill him.
Yeah. Before he gets that E going, like until he gets the E, Zyra is like really hard time with being engaged on. Doesn't have any CC to like peel off anybody.
Is your phone almost dead?
Hear that?
I know that beep. It's like, oh fuck, where's my charger?
Yep. We're just gonna turn the sound down. We'll get back to you later, little phone. I'm sorry. Dragon looking for a gank on the. Not Dragon. Dove was looking for a gank, but Wave's pushing in, so nothing's gonna come of that.
So Kragan actually did a quite a bit different route here. He didn't go to the top side. Well, he actually picked up red, right? And then
He
came
took up
back
red,
down
and then he came immediately back down.
to take the scuttle. Yeah.
I think they were
He's
wondering.
gonna try to in lane, but
We're
that
actually
ward
going to
is still
see
there.
Dubdrum looking for the gank on mid. He's in a great position. He's going to jump in, but we're going to get the flash out of My Wang.
Directed
Did you see
camera
that?
rip. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
directed
it's-
camera really
No,
wanted to watch them
I
trade
didn't
top
see
lane.
it.
I didn't see it on director camera, but I was watching the mid lane minimap, and then I saw the cooldown go for flash, so...
Wow.
He didn't take damage
Look at
either,
that. You're
so...
just casting from the UI. That's look at this. Look at this pro, everybody.
Professionals here.
Yeah.
Directed camera needs to get its shit together, though. I wanted to see
I
the
hate
flash.
that too. Oh
I
god.
know. But looks like we're gonna see Dubdrum continuing his reign of terror, looking for the gank on bot lane.
Oh,
He charges
God.
the life. He's gonna come over.
Oh.
The pillar is gonna push over. Tree's gonna get exhausted, and he's going to go down. That's gonna be first blood for Respect on the Trundle.
I almost came if that pillar knocked him into the slingshot, but it was
He-
still
it-
good.
It made Salvo have to. The pillar made Salvo have to flash. So
Yeah.
like he got the flash from Salvo with the pillar, and then the slow made them catch up the tree with the slow after that, and then the exhaust.
Do you think
Really?
Solo not healing there was purposeful? Like they just wanted to say that because they knew he was dead anyway.
Oh, it's definitely possible. I mean, when you're slowed, the speed up from heal doesn't help that much, just because how slows and speed ups work with League of Legends.
Right.
So
I mean, I feel like I would have blown heal there because I think you might have been able to get out. But then I guess then you're
no.
down heal for the next laning phase, and
Well,
then it's
the
even
thing
worse.
that killed Zyra was the chomp coming out of Trundle, and there's that movement speed debuff that happened
Yeah.
with
Right.
the chomp. So I don't. Think
Well, I
it
mean, if he
would've
healed it earlier, is I think what he was saying. So
Yeah, yeah.
The heal, he could have ran. He could have just tried to outrun everything.
Right. The heal
Maybe
should've
he just
came
thought
out
he was gonna get
instantly.
knocked up by Zach, and he's like, "Yeah, you're fucked. See ya."
Yeah, that's true.
helped. Some teamwork synergy down there in the bot
Yeah.
lane.
I don't know, but definitely a rough situation to be in. Dubdrum's getting a lot of summoners blown already, making a lot of plays, and we're seeing him and Annie kind of roaming around in the river looking for trouble.
Yeah, and this has always been Dubdrum's playstyle. Throughout the course of the regular season, he has always played really gank-heavy champions, especially that Rek'Sai, and he just roams around the map almost constantly, paying a visit to every
Yeah.
single one of his lanes, and either getting flashes or even kills for his laners.
I'll say Rek'Sai and Elise have been like the champions. Rek'Sai, Elise, and Gragas like have always been his big three. So it's
Yeah.
really interesting to see him prioritizing the Zac over all three of those on this series. I mean, I guess we've seen him in playing
Yeah.
Echo as well lately, just with Echo being a power pick champ, but that's normally something that always has gone to On the Wind.
Yeah, and maybe I could understand last game maybe because they wanted to fulfill the two frontline checkbox on their team comp because they
Yeah.
did have the Aurelia, but then they also got the Maokai, so they're actually running only a 2 damage threat composition here.
Yeah. That is something that is risky with the amount of like explosive potential that this Waifu's 2-star can bring out.
Yeah. Yeah, especially Oriana's going to scale really well. Support Zyra, once you actually get to the hyper late game and you do have 6 items, it's almost like a second mid laner in terms
Yeah,
of damage output.
It's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
just the plant poke, like, support Zyra is like one of the best scaling supports. Looks like we're going to see a lot of action in the bot lane. Kragan's trying to sneak up, but the next bush is warded, so looks like they're not even going to try to make that push. He's just going to back up.
Well, once again, that's all from the mini map, folks. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Everyone wants to watch this wet noodle fight in the top lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Maokai lane's more
Directed
even
camera
money.
knows what noodle fights are life. You can't escape it. Riot has forced us into this life. They said no sustain lanes, therefore noodles.
Things going down on the Zac. They know he's going to those Stone Bros. So
You know, it may...
no,
go for it.
No, you.
No, I was going to go into a really silly Riot conspiracy thought, but you go. I feel like I gotta create a subreddit for this later. It's gonna be good. But Dan,
Go
you
for
go.
it. No, go for it.
No, I want
Okay.
to hear about this.
I only hear
Okay.
you can't just mention crazy conspiracy
Okay,
theories.
so
we have nothing going on the
I
map.
feel like back in like season 2 or whatever, when tanks were like literally unkillable and like 5k health, all the resistance in the world, force of nature was an item. I feel like rioters back then, they thought like those wet noodle fights were so hilarious, so they set up this super long plan that over like the course of 4 seasons they were gonna like perpetuate the meta to be where like teleport's necessary for top lane, and they're gonna like rework the tank item so that like, everyone wants to pick late game scaling tanks, and they're just gonna have a bunch of wet noodle fights. And then when they created directed camera, they coded it so it actually favors wet noodle fights over everything else. It's so riders could laugh.
You heard it here first, folks.
Because like,
Conspiracy.
yeah, like Ignite's not a thing in the top lane anymore. You don't see Riven with Ignite. Like, whatever happened to that? Like,
Nah, Riven takes
the
TP,
health,
man.
the red pot start.
Yeah.
Riven Ignite, dude. Come on, those days were fun, right?
Oh, God,
your,
red
your,
pot
your,
was
your top
cancer.
laner disconnecting after the first blood 2 minutes in. Come on, that was fun.
No. As a top laner who gets instantly tilted by Riven, that was the exact opposite of fun. And I would rather
okay.
watch a wet noodle fight for 10 minutes than play against old Riven. I don't
Alright,
know
we're
what
gonna
to do
see
with
the
that
ping
shit.
goes out. We're gonna see the dub drum is spotted on the top half of the map, and we're gonna see the first dragon started up by Waifu Superstar.
This one's gonna be a
But
bit
Booster
more
Friendship
contested.
knows, and they're coming down. We're gonna have the
Oh,
Maokai
yeah.
TPing in. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. Craig's gonna get exhausted.
forget
Big
about it.
flash bear putting down Craig immediately. Oriana Allhammer's gonna get Annie, blow her up. Maokai's gonna go onto Sivir. We're seeing lots of damage come out. Coley's coming across, but it's not gonna be enough. Poppy also TP's enjoying the fact. Zach's coming in, trying to ult, but we're just gonna flash onto the Xmas tree to get out of the way. Big root over onto Lucian, putting a lot of damage on this, but all overall, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trading the jungler for the mid laner.
Oh, jeez. That was... I thought that was just going to be like a clean ace for SS Boosted, because they just, like, they cornered
Wow.
Craig into the Dragon Pin, he just took a bunch of free damage. The Flash Tibbers ult was pretty beautiful, but a good TP answer, actually, out of Waifu and AJS0 coming down that backside. They immediately took out Annie after her Flash exposed her weakness there, and yeah, really close fight, but the Dragon is still up.
That was a very,
Yeah.
like, that fight, like, went 0 to 60 real fast. It's like, alright, yeah, but it's pushing the dragon, TP's coming in, and everyone pulls the trigger, let's go. And we see the pings going down again. Waifu Superstar determined to not give up, having Poppy on this half of the map. They're going to start up the Ocean Drag. But once again, we're seeing Trundle coming in with the pillar, Boosted Friendship knows. Zach's waiting on the side wings. Annie's looking for something, but she doesn't have Flash or Ultimate. As we see all 5 members of Waifu Superstar piling in onto this dragon, trying to see what they can make happen here.
Did Dragon
But the
reset?
dragon's actually going to reset. They have kept it bouncing to... No, it is
Oh,
not going to
no,
reset.
it's
It
still
moved
alive.
back to its pit. It's getting at 2k, but we
Oh,
see Boosted
man.
Friendship coming in on both sides. The pillars are coming across the middle. Waifu Superstar moving on the bot, but AJ's going to get caught with the Boosted Friendship in the back line. Dragon's taking a lot of damage. However, Zach is going to also go down. Everybody's flashing out. Craig is very, very low, but Lucian's going to be able to go in, get the kill. AGS0 is also going down. The bear is backed up, gets the stun onto Xmas Tree, and it's going to be a 3-for-0 in the favor of Boosted Friendship. Triple kill onto Evil Light on the Lucian. And this will be the Water Drake.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That was such a tense fight. Oh my god, I feel like this whole series was like in that fight. I feel like that's really demoralizing for Waifu Superstar to lose that, because I loved the call actually. So Swift was still down there as Poppy, right? Or he recalled, and he was down teleport obviously, so he just said, hey, we're just gonna go back and we're gonna do the dragon again, because he just assumed On the Wind was gonna walk back top. That was like the common thing to do, and he did that. He got halfway up into the top lane, and they had all 5 members there, but they were so inconsistent on their shot calling that they bought time for On the Wind to walk all the way down from the top lane, and it made it a fair 5v5 that they choked themselves in to their own choke point. Like, wow, that's, oh my god.
That was something else.
That's amazing. And once again, Evilite starting off the game super strong, 3-0-1 on this Lucian.
We're seeing really big. We're also seeing a really big play, like, laid out of mid lane. Like, mid lane was pretty even last time, but we have a really solid mid lane lead, and we have a really solid bot lane lane. Like, 30 CS plus 3 kills. That's massive.
Yeah, that's 5-1 start. So this game already a lot more explosive than the last. Both these teams, they're all warmed up. You know, their stage fright is gone. They're ready to perform, and it's definitely showing. A lot of contention over the dragon here.
Xmas Tree is going to get taking a lot of damage, but he gets the ult up in time. Someone's going to blow ult, and they're going to be able to run down Lucian. Xmas Tree is very low, and Earthstrike's going to flash Chomper, put her down, but he's taking a lot of damage from a very angry Plant and Sava, who's going to be able to avenge her support. But there you go, Zach's jumping in, lands the elastic slingshot and the ult to put down, making a 2-for-1 trade. Meanwhile, Wet Noodle fight in the top lane, nothing new until Kragan decides to show up, lands the rush onto that's his booster captain. Fucking all these name changes. But he's going to take a lot less damage thanks to this Maokai ult. But this Symmetroni ult will come out, and the stun will go out and finish them off. AJ's going to be able to walk safely through the turret to make a play on the other end of the map. When
Yeah.
Annie is closing in, he's on the hunt. AGS Zeros
Stop.
knows
Oh, no.
that he's been looking for it, but he's gonna sneak past.
Yeah, AJ0, he gets out safe here.
Yep.
That's bad luck Brian Thor there. He picked the wrong direction there, but
Yeah.
wow. That I mean, yeah, so a flash, chomp to secure the kill on the tree, which they probably should have had 3 seconds earlier. But yeah, he just had to walk back through all of the plants and take a bunch of damage. But man, that dub jump prediction there was beautiful. Like, he actually even waited out the spell shield from Sivir. That was
You think so?
He
bonkers.
charged up and he
Well,
knew exactly where to go.
Yeah,
It
I
was-
mean, because he could have pulled the trigger like super early. He could have actually just walked up instead of charging the slingshot. He could have just walked up for a guaranteed slingshot, but that would have been a lot easier to predict than the long range one
yeah.
that he had targeted to
'Cause,
where
I mean,
Summo was going to
you
walk
do
back.
have like more travel time. That is
Yeah.
how it works. Like, it takes you longer to get there, so you have to make some sort of prediction there.
Yeah, but good gank out of Kragan in the top lane too.
Yeah.
This is to stop talking like no bias here. But yeah, like it was a really good gank out of the top lane, but on the win doing a really good job and just trying to stay alive and almost turned it around. Swift got really low on the tower damage there and could have been traded out by Admiral, but wasn't able to find him.
Yep. And now we're gonna see
Oh.
everyone contesting. However, Kragan is sitting in the bush, waiting for it. But SS Booster decides they want to get this blue ball. Kragan, however, is
Oh,
gonna
I
dash
don't know.
Yeah,
in.
Kragan
He
gets it.
might steal it. He will get it. A lieutenant on the side getting
Oh, no.
knocked up by the Zyra ult, taking a lot of damage, and he's going to go down. Thor is going to have to flash the Orianna ult. Meanwhile, Captain's getting caught up by AJ0 and Kragan again. He's taking a lot of damage, and he's going to go down eventually. The kill will go
That's not
onto
bad.
my Wang.
So tanky.
Picking up
so
a kill.
good.
That's 2 more kills now for the favorite Waifu superstar, clawing their way back into this game.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, a good idea out of us Boost Friendship. They were definitely they're in the lead, so they're just gonna try to pressure out, steal a blue buff away from either Wang or Sejuani. Really, two champions that would love to have blue buff at this point of the game, and they don't even get the blue buff. Kragan once again, he's good on the smite this series and takes a blue buff away, but the Avalite going a little too far in. He gets exhausted and then knocked up by the Zyra ult. So. Yeah, a little overstep there by SS Boosted Friendship over a blue buff, but they still have a gold lead.
We gotta respect that Zyra support. She was 0-3, but when you get hit by like
coming out
3
of Maokai.
plants,
What
he's
is
coming in
this?
from the Maokai onto the flank. He's going to jump on AJ0. Kragan's gonna throw out the Sejuani ult, but is going to miss. The pillar's gonna go down, and it's gonna force the flash out of AJ0. Big jump from Zach, going to get a knockup onto AJ0 with MyWang and Kragan, knocking Kragan back into the team. But it's gonna go over to the tower. He's gonna have to also flash out, meaning we got 3 flashes burnt out.
I don't know how I feel about what I
noises.
just watched.
a lot
Punching
of
intensifies.
okay, yeah, okay, I see that. Yep, flash ult. Okay, yeah,
They're just gonna take mid for this.
yeah. They'll
We're
trade
going to see a
towers.
mid for top trade, which I think, oh my goodness,
Ooh.
AJ is going to stop the Jackal. Zach likes the slingshot, but Kragan's going to go down to an angry bear. SS Bruce is kind of getting knocked up. Huge Orianna ult, hitting all 3 members. We're going to see SS Bruce Medic, however, picking up the tower aggro, and we're going to see a 1-for-0 trade.
Well, so Waifu Superstar is coming out way ahead on this, I think.
Oh my
all
goodness.
over the
He's
place.
going to get it. SS Bruce Captain's going to have to flash, try to defend that turret, but
And
the Zyra
he
ult
did it.
was threatening. But he did save the turret, meaning we see only a 1-for-0 trade and kills in favor of SS Boosted.
Wait.
Tons of summoners blown.
Who died there?
Kragan died. Kragan got hit by the stun bear.
Okay.
But no
You gotta watch
towers
out for
taken.
drop bears. No
Yeah,
towers taken.
No,
Paratrooper
yeah.
Tibber has come to save the day.
We
It
saw a
act-
lot of stuff blown from both
Right,
teams.
yeah. There was like 2 flashes right off that first really overreaching initiation out of on the win from that teleport there.
Yeah.
It looked like it was just going to be a very simple trade. It was going to trade top tower for mid tower. But surprisingly, both towers stay alive and people's flashes are basically blown. So, I mean, neither team really getting much out of that.
Yeah.
Just kind of matching summoner spells and ults and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Summoner spells blown
I do
everywhere.
have to say though,
Yeah.
that shockwave out of Orianna, holy
Wow.
man.
Yeah, Wang,
That was,
Wang
if
was
there was
amazing there.
any more follow-up on that could have easily been 2 to 3 kills.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was really close. It was a very nice shockwave.
Thunderlord
We're seeing
procs
the new
almost
dragon come in. Dragon just came in. Is that
That's the
wind
air.
or
That's
water?
the wind
That's the air one.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
first one of the series.
First air one of the season.
It's plus 15 movement speed out of combat.
Yeah. It's a sizable amount. I mean, it helps. And both these teams are actually playing some like really good macro level gameplay, and with like where rotations are being very important. So this 15 movement speed out of combat could actually make a really big difference, especially for a team with Sivir where it scales.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just.
This
about
lets
to bring
them
that
either
up.
like you slow the gap, either like reduce the gap of move speed with Sivir until the fight starts, or the Sivir team goes even faster when they're running into your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think both teams would really benefit well off of this air drake. So we'll see who wants to
Yeah.
audition for it first. I mean,
Yeah.
Waifu Superstar, all of their catastrophic meltdowns in their team fights have been around this dragon pit. So
Yeah,
I wonder if
I
they'll
think
be more trepidatious next time.
I think I think they're a little nervous about that, but Boosted Friendship's also a little nervous just with like how much damage. Like they've realized these last couple of infates have gotten them burned on a few things, like even like getting caught by the Zyra. I mean, top lane, they barely made it out. But yeah, they're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see
burn it
this.
down for
Yep,
freezies.
they're just gonna see the double pickup from the dragon. It's gonna be the second dragon of the game going over to Boosted
Yeah.
Friendship.
That
Now they have
seems like a
Aaron
mistake
Water.
out of Waifu.
Aaron Water,
Yeah.
right?
That's
So-
very out of character for Waifu.
Right,
Earth
it-
and Fire, they're the Avatar, right?
You collect all four and then you get to turn them in for a free Elder Dragon.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Ooh, big elastic shot out of tree, gets the ult to knock him out
Wow.
into the team. We're gonna find another drop bear coming out, putting down the Xmas tree. Not a very good game. Big Orianna ult on that Suspicious Admiral, but however, Kraken's gonna knock him up. It's gonna be a lot of CC, but oh, he's barely gonna go down. But my way's taking a lot of damage from SCP and Seaman, and SCP Admiral's gonna be able to pick up the ability. But HS0 is teleporting in. He is going to put a lot of damage onto Seaman, and he's going to be. I'm not sure what's going on. We're gonna see the rush in from Kraken. Seaman's gonna barely get out.
Wow. Wait,
Oh
did
my
that knock
goodness.
up, knock up Dub Jump? I don't.
I don't
It
know.
did.
That was...
It stunned him, but it didn't
Yeah.
do the knockup animation.
Animation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was like
okay.
really, I was like got really confused there. And I was like,
Right,
oh,
yeah, me
what do I
too.
do?
Plus, it wasn't like a full charge. It was just kind of like a pitching wedge. You're just gonna knock it
Yeah.
back a little bit.
Red team's turret has
So they're gonna
And
trade
we will see
towers
the
in
turret
end
going
of that.
down on the top lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So now that was traded, this is
Yeah.
a huge net gain. In my opinion, a huge net gain for SS Boosted Friendship. They got that dragon
yeah.
for free, which I thought was weird because it's not like Waifu has a composition that wants to scale and like, hey, like we'll concede a couple dragons, maybe get some lane pressure. Like maybe we don't have a team composition that fights well in
Yeah.
the river, but they do. All of their ultimates are up. Orianna Shockwave. Sejuani ult, Sivir ult, like all of their good ultimates were up. It seems odd that
Yeah.
they didn't even position any river control for
No
that.
wards up. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
that was like almost like they were just afraid. Like everything else is going so far. with the
exactly what you
dragon.
guys said, that they just had some
Yeah.
bad memories from earlier. Yeah, so they just gave up the dragon for free, and then a pretty good dub drum initiation. They just singled out one person. That's enough
I
to
mean-
try to get some damage down on the tower. They traded out Orianna's life, but then on the back, they lost their own tier 1 mid. So
Yeah, I mean that was a really like nice slingshot in though. He singled
Yeah.
out tree. He got the knock of a tree, ulted, and just knocked him straight away from that tower.
yeah, and he ult to
And
finish it
there
off.
was
Yeah.
no recover. There was no recovery from that point.
Yep.
So far, Dub Drum is the only one keeping. them
Oh,
in
a
that
big another jump.
series.
He's gonna land on the tree and Wang. The tree's gonna get the ult out. He's gonna knock out SCP's animals, taking a lot of damage while exhausted. Tree's gonna go down, however, for SCP's medic, but Thor is also taking a very large amount of damage. All these SCP members, all into the tower. Captain's tanking for a very large amount of time. They're gonna pick out HHR, and the slingshot's gonna land directly,
The belly
dunking
flop.
Kragan, picking up a 4-for-1. I'm not exactly sure what happened during that entire fight, to be completely honest, but
destroyed.
a lot happened, and Waifu Superstar is suffering for it. We
Oh,
see a
man.
4-for-1 trade.
Dub Drum's Zac plays have been on point both games of this series.
Yeah.
Like, every slingshot he has seems to be monumental for his team.
Yeah, every single time I see director camera like panning towards like Dub Drum slingshotting, I'm like, oh,
It's
what we
going
gonna
down.
get this time, boys?
Yeah, he's just flopping all over the place and just being where his team needs him to be.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I want to bring it
once
back.
again, he hasn't died.
Yeah, no, I wanted to say that is he's keeping the no deaths in the series stream alive. I just
Wow.
hope someone takes him down if they win the series because I don't want to hear that in the caster's booth.
At the finals.
Yeah.
I didn't die. Throw
Yeah.
2 best of 5s.
Yeah.
No. Don't put me through this.
But bringing it
this
back
is-
to that air drake,
Yeah.
maybe they just didn't know. I mean, they Boosted Friendship went in and they did a really good job sort of clearing out vision.
Yeah.
And maybe they just thought that's exactly what they were doing, was clearing out vision and not going for it, because it was only Zac and Lucian that helped take that.
Are we still talking about this dragon that was like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah. Because it's
About
just
how
so...
Dragon's like
that
irrelevant,
wasn't
like-
literally it's cost them the series.
We've talked about it so long now that like it's actually relevant to be awarding for Dragon again because it's up in a minute and a half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was so out of character. I wouldn't expect
Yeah.
any team that has as good of shot calling as Waifu Superstar to just give it up for free. My mind has been boggled.
I don't know.
Speaking of this, look, Boosted just went and they just warded up the Dragon. They're
Yeah,
preparing
they
for
have
the
the line
third
of
one.
wards.
They're getting
They have
ready
the
for the
perfect
ocean
line
day.
of wards.
Yeah, no.
Waifu
Good line
cannot
of vision.
actually walk into this river without being spotted, unless they come all the way through their bot
Well-
lane. But they're gonna meet a
Sneaky
tree there.
beaky.
One thing I do gotta say though is the Avatar Dream is dead. Another Ocean Drake has spawned, and there's no way they can get all four.
Yeah.
before LA.
Damn.
I know. Sad day.
Damn.
Avatar. Dang.
Um,
Just like that, with the spawning of a dragon.
you know, in
My
I
dreams
guess
were shattered.
I'd be really interested because just to go back once again, we'll talk about that Air Drake. There's in League of Legends sometimes there's an obvious like this is the only choice macro decision, but
Yeah.
sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's bigger things at play, and we don't know what their master plan here
Very
is here.
true.
They might have wanted to set up some waves, like maybe a slow push in the top lane. I'd have to go back and watch it, but basically just face value wise, it looks odd.
I think it was like, I mean, they're all like around the middle lane too.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Anyway, they just got a tier 2 there. That
Yep.
bot. Yeah.
yep, tier 2 bot just went down. We're going to put it up to 4 towers to 1. Boost Friendship looking really, really strong
Dragon's
now.
up in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Poppy's
Yeah, there's
up.
no way Waifu.
Waifu
contest
Superstar has
this.
Well, every
very,
TP
very
is
little
up.
jungle vision around that area. They have a bit in their jungle.
Except for
But the pit
Except
on
for
the
the
wind,
lines,
but he's
yeah.
by this dragon, so it's all right. Yeah, there's no way because they have to walk through all of this brilliant warding by
Yep,
Essence
and we're going to
Friendship.
see, yeah, this is going to be another one. We're going to
Oh,
see the
wow.
Silverall running down the mid lane. They're going to catch Admiral on his own. This is Ronnie Glacier. Pridge is going to lock him up. There's going to be a lot of damage.
Oh
But he's
my-
going to turn and drop their legs!
Oh,
Oh my goodness!
absolutely deleted.
It says, does the SBL pay us? Because you gotta
Beautiful
find a
knock
fight.
out of the tree, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to go down, getting absolutely destroyed by the solution. The Ajax is going to be trapped with the rest of the SS boosted squad. We're going to wet noodle a fight out in the corner.
They
Three
get,
noodles are in fact greater than 1.
for those of you who missed it, they did get Dragon as well.
Yes.
Well, that was
I
a given. After the Sivir ult and the Sejuani ult was used, I'm like, okay, so S is supposed to get the dragon for free,
I cannot
obviously.
believe that happened. Like, they ran down Thor, they had him all on his own, they landed CC, and he just turns, and before they blew him up, he just like, yeah, see ya, Wang, 100-0. Give him a middle finger as he's dying.
Yeah.
See you, Wang. Later, nerd.
Like,
Oh,
as I'm dying,
man.
I'm gonna flip you off and curse you to my last breath.
Dude, look at this crisp rotation out of Essence Boosted Friendship. They take
That's
this tier
the,
2, totally undefendable
That's the air
for
drake
Waifu.
coming in right
Yeah.
here. We're not
And
gonna
the Ocean
touch
Drake, right?
two,
They have an Ocean Drake.
They
They're
have
all
two
full
Ocean
health right
Drakes.
now.
So yeah,
Yeah.
this is what they want to do. Like, they have 2 Ocean Drakes. That's a lot of regeneration on the siege. They can afford to take some bad trades and they heal up, or they can just make these nice rotations. They have Waifu Superstar now confined to their base with no extra range towers.
Is it 8%? Is the regen now off of 2 Ocean Drakes? I think it goes 4, 8, 12.
It is. Yep, 4, 8,
Yeah.
12. Missing.
And
missing
it's
health.
percent every 5 seconds out of combat. And we're gonna see them trying to fanatic push the Baron, but Spooky goes
Ah.
to say, "Hi, how you doing?"
Not
Good,
so
good spooky goats used out of tree there. That's honestly probably one of the better ways to use that. I mean, obviously, if you're ahead, you're going to use it to try to slow people and root them down.
Yeah.
But that's how you use it when you're behind, because you don't want to walk into your jungle
Yep.
without vision.
I especially with the fact that they only have 1 blue trinket, you need to have some other way
Yeah.
to create alternative vision. And
Yeah, and one of the changes that I don't think a lot of people talked about is that Blue Trinket was nerfed in either 6.9 or 6.10. I believe it was
Yeah.
6.9. But yeah, it's a lot longer, I think, at
it is
later.
a lot longer. Yep. Which
Yeah.
is something that really needed to change, because after a while, unless you were really trying to force a 4-1 or a 1-3-1, there was never reason to have more than 1 yellow trinket on your team.
Right.
Because
your split
Blue has
pusher,
such a-
basically, that's it.
Like
yeah.
your split pusher. No, you didn't want your split pusher to have. Well, split pusher could have yellow.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
wanted someone else to have, like, if your support was going ahead and doing a lot of forward vision, and they didn't have an extra ping, then you save a yellow to be like, hey, you can TP to our other one. But otherwise,
Right.
yeah, it's like just your split pusher took it.
Yeah.
But Big
Oh.
jump out of it, but it's going to get stuffed by AJS0, but he's going to splash over jump, and he's going to knock up the Exodus tree. Exodus tree's going to try and flash out, but it's going to be very, very close. That's what running in. AJS0 is going to slam back Steven, but AJS, he's going to be trapped in the rest of his team while Exodus tree is going to go down to his fellow support. AJS0 is trying to do his best to run out, but we're going to see a huge splash there onto Wang and Kragan, but they're both going to be able to get out.
Four-man
Gigantic glacial
shockwave.
pressure into a 4-man. Oriano's going to put a ridiculously large amount of damage onto Boosted Friendship, but it's not going to be enough as we see HSR going down and Kragan's being chased under his tower, and he will also go down, making this a 3-for-0 trade. Boosted Friendship has been the dominant team throughout this entire series so far.
Yeah.
I
10k gold lead at the 30-minute mark.
I gotta say, Swift was doing a valiant effort trying to hold off
Yeah.
that engage. I mean, he was really slamming back that Seaman, but he just wasn't able to stop.
This
it.
will be the 30-minute Baron. Added Baron to their collection of 3 dragons.
And it sucks because Waifu, because they're so far behind, they actually hit like their ideal combination of Sage ult into Orianna ult, and it got Admiral and Seaman down really, really low. They actually could have, they might have been able to get those kills and make that trade a little less unfavorable for them, but just because they were already behind at that point in the game, like there's that just solidifies, I believe, the loss at this point. I mean, it's 11k gold lead. You now have a Baron on this team that has 2 Ocean Drakes and a Wind Dragon. Like it's
I've seen some
another
legendary
another
throws,
Ocean.
though.
I mean, we've seen
Another Ocean's on the field too.
Yeah.
3 Oceans is a lot of health regen out of combat.
Yeah.
12% every 5 seconds. That
Yeah,
is-
you're just gonna choke them out. You're just basically gonna stay at the tower and keep
Yeah.
like hitting them down. They're gonna have to back, and you
I
just
think
get all
if
these
you want
inhib
any
towers.
At that
for free.
point, like, Zach can also just take free elastic sling Like, he just shoots in and it's like, oh, this one didn't hit anyone. Well, I'm just going to walk out with half my health. I'm going to go sit for 20 seconds. I'm going to be back at full health.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like, oh, every wave I can just elastic slingshot until I get, you know, the one.
I think out of any combination of Drakes that you want, I think it would be air and water. Just because your rotations are going to be crisp, and as you're rotating, you're just regenerating all this health. If you're in the driver's seat, these dragons are really playing right into Boosted Friendship's hands.
That's a really strong one. Earth and water also scale really well, just for additional siege pressure.
Okay.
Fire and air. It really depends on what your comp's trying to do. That's what's really interesting about the dragon system is like depending on what your comp's goal is that you have different priority on different dragons. I mean, there is a tier list kind of to which ones are better than the others, but depending on the game state and what your team wants, I mean,
Like,
each one brings a different thing.
Right, and people can sit down and actually get goal values for the stats that they do give, but at the end of the day, it's really how your team composition uses them.
Oh my god,
see ya,
gigantic
Zach.
Ultimate just gonna stop the Zac slingshot, sending him flying out of the fight. But Suspicion finds himself under the tower. Captain taking a lot of damage, and so is Craig. A gigantic Orianna is going to put down the Captain and bring in a bunch of other Suspicion regiments. We're going to see this actually be a good tower defense. We're going to see a 1-for-0, but the inhibitor tower is going low, and we're going to see this jump coming back in, and he wants revenge, and he will get it. Hunting down the Xmas tree and AJS0 wasn't able to deny us one, and that'll be a double kill for Respect.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to see.
Oh,
we're going to see
it's
Doug
only a
jumping in
2-for-2
again. He's
though,
kind of
still.
low.
It's still
but-
going.
They're still going. He's gonna get his passive proc. This could kill him, but Admiral's gonna have
my
to just
God.
delete my Wang.
That incinerates. Where
That
did
was
he
just
go?
QW. Whoop.
Oh, baby, that's 6.9, 6.10 Annie right there.
Check
That's-
out this health regen.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's actually,
right.
this is really sizable. That's really ridiculous right now.
And
Yeah.
that's only 2. Keep in mind.
Is it gonna be
Yeah,
third?
well, it's gonna be 3. So now that's 12% missing for every 5 seconds out of combat. I mean, that's really, really good.
Yeah, basically what you said earlier, Thrifty, just like actually happened. They went for the initiation and they kind of botched it. Like Waifu did a really good job of cutting back.
No, they didn't botch it. Swift had just a great alt.
Papio.
Yeah, it was mid-air. How do you predict that? You can't predict
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Mid-air, Tide comes in, Tide goes out.
It wasn't a botch per se, but it was a good disengage out of Waifu. And they just came back though and did it again. And now that the Orianna ult and the Sejuani ult was down, Lieutenant could actually just walk in and like finish off the tower for free and like get all the damage as Lucian. He didn't have he didn't have anything to fear. And once again, Dub Jump 1-0-16, dude.
Yeah.
Zero
the
death.
Zach man here. He's just
I-
belly flopping all over
Is
the
this gonna be
predicted
legitimate
that
ban? Like,
ban.
are they gonna have to ban? I think they have to
Yeah.
ban
Oh,
Zach
without
next
doubt.
game.
It'd be
Like,
silly not to ban this.
After the first week of the season, and he had that Zach game, do you think you would ever hear that he would have to get Zach banned against him?
Right, I know. It's
No.
crazy.
I mean, yeah, 2 games in a row now. He's just this unkillable initiating titan.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm surprised I don't see more blue trinkets out of Waifu Superstar.
The nerf was sizable.
Oh,
But big jump in, but it's not gonna be able to get too much. But Tree once again gonna get caught out in the front. Aegis Hero's behind, but he's a little bit late to the party. Kragen's also been going out, getting ran down by Lieutenant. Seaman, however, taking a lot of damage, but it's not gonna be enough. Aegis Hero's gonna also just get deleted. Very, very large chunks of damage coming out from Boosted Friendship, and that will almost assuredly be the game.
yeah.
But Wang is going to pick up Thor last second.
Oh,
actually,
Salvo
Salvo's also going to
lives.
pick up Evil Light. What is going on? But nope, yep, the
There you
tanks
go.
come, the tanks clean it, and that will be a
Like, after
4
the
League
first
of
for
game.
2.
Names, folks.
Man.
Yep, and we're going to see Estus Bruce Medic running up. He's going to go pick up an attack tower, but
What?
Wang's going to kill
What
him.
are
Hello?
they doing?
Respect? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Is my mic on?
It's like he thought there was an ace or something. So they got the inhibitor tower, but Wang's putting out a lot of damage. He's kind of putting some good damage on Captain.
They need to run
What?
away.
SS was a friendship? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? What?
They could have just won the game, and instead they throw themselves way too hard at the other team and just die
Yeah.
stupidly. Hey, we've
Well, I
seen
mean-
throws. Is this the start of something amazing?
No, I don't know. I mean, so like I said earlier, they only have 2 damage threats, and their 2 damage
Yeah.
threats died. So the
Yeah.
tower taking went down considerably.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get them again. They'll try again.
Yeah, I mean, they did also, like, they did that in a Nexus Tower, and this top inhibitor tower is getting very low. I mean, it was a small win for Waifu Superstar, but they
Right.
lost a lot, and
At the end of
It's
the day,
a
this is still a
resource.
12k gold lead.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
was
have to
just
see a
about to bring
throw,
that up.
like, we're gonna have to see some harder throws than that for this game to be turned around.
Yeah. I mean, the items right now for the carries on SS Boosted Friendship, I mean, Annie, fully decked out in all of the rods and hats that
Yeah.
mages
She's
want
missing her butt.
nowadays. Oh yeah,
Where does
well,
she keep all her spells?
she only memorized a couple of them.
Oh, okay.
Roughly
Yeah.
4.
She only prepared 4 for the day.
Yeah. Standard.
Standard 5th edition stuff here.
Yeah.
We 5th edition now.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh man,
So, yeah,
Kragen
let's-
couldn't
yeah.
kill that ward because that cone was on top of it.
Oh.
Oh!
Oh my
We're
god!
gonna see Jojo getting knocked way out of the fight. We're gonna see a very nice special Christian, but it's not gonna hit either of the carries. Carry is gonna get deleted, and HS0 is also taking a lot of damage. He's gonna try and keep the carries out of the fight, but it's not gonna be enough. These carries from SS Boost Frederick just do way too much damage, and the CC just all goes out
Look
on
at
Salvo.
this
He's
Zac.
taking a ton. My Wang
Flopping
trying to
around.
hide under this one turret. Exodus Tree trying to go back to get health, but yeah, the tower, look, it doesn't even do anything to meta. Like, this is it. This is a game.
I love that broken animation
Yeah.
for Zach. That's like one of the funniest things.
When he gets rooted and he's just flying through the air.
He just runs really
Yeah.
Well, there you have
Alright.
it. That's game 2. 2-0
That
on the
is
series
2-0
for
now.
Boosted.
Wow.
No deaths. the
Waifu?
dream.
Hello?
Waifu Superstar just hasn't shown up yet. I mean, they kind of showed some life
There-
last game, but this one they kind of just got bowled over by this giant blue blubbery ball.
Yeah, dude, what the heck?
I mean, just looking at damage charts though, which is, I think is a good stat to bring up before we go to break, is Salvo only had 200 damage less than Admiral on Annie, and Annie was the top damage dealer. So Salvo really trying to do his team justice there. He did do a huge amount of damage for the amount of gold and the amount of pressure that he had that game. So there's still signs of life. There's still some good things that Waifu's doing, but really it's them making a lot of mistakes that's allowing SS Friendship to run away with these games.
I think a big part of that, the end of the game, they really saw what was happening. Zach was just flying into the back line and just disrupting everything while the carries did so much damage. But towards the end of the game, they were doing everything they could to just get Zach out of the fray, but it was of no use.
Yeah, especially Maokai too. He was just twisted advancing on carries all day for free. There's nothing. I mean, you can only devote so many resources to peeling because you have to have some resources giving off threat to keep your carries alive. So yeah, when you're that far behind, you're spread too thin to really fight.
Yeah,
It sucks, but I mean that's League of Legends at the end of the day.
Yeah.
that's how it is.
All right. Well, we're gonna drop the stream, but not cut it for about 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere.
Sound muted.
Make some motherfucking noise.
Sound resumed.
To a very exciting semifinal match for the Swain Batty League. We're all ready here. It looks like the teams might be ready as well, but
Yep. Just go ahead and type ready in the chat.
yep. So what last week, analysts and players and spectators at the SBL might have predicted very predictable 3-0 for Boosted over Batty Bargain. Batty Bargain was looking like a very weak team, but then things got crazy. Emergency sub beat Boxer Woogie, my personal hero. He came in, tried to carry, ended in a 3-1. A little bit different, right? This series, a lot of people, for the most part, predicted Waifu Superstar to win this series, looking like the stronger team going into the postseason. But this series is sort of flopping everybody's predictions on their head. We're sitting at a 2-0 in the best of 5, folks, for SS Boosted Friendship. Waifu this time electing to be the blue side, and they'll be getting first pick in their do or die game.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I was talking about the bans.
Lucian and Zach. Whoa!
The Lucian ban makes sense.
Whoa!
The Lucian ban makes total sense. Like, Lucian is the strongest AD carry on the patch.
But then they don't want Kragan to have the Zach either.
Has Kragan been playing a lot of Zac or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. They're waiting to pick, so it seems like it might have stumped him. Looks like he's gonna pick up
Yeah.
Rek'Sai, which
which
has been questionable at best in past games.
Right.
On...
Yeah. He's played at least one game in the regular season. I believe it was a loss. Whenever he's banned out of his sort of go-tos, the Gragas and the Sejuani, he falls back to either Elise or Rek'Sai. And if those are banned or they're just feeling a little bit saucy, he picks some, like Diana or like something a little out of meta. But yeah, the Rek'Sai, obviously, it's a good first pick here because it takes it away from Dubjump. And now that Dubjump, their team already banned Zac. We're gonna see Dubjump play something, probably an Elise, but something obviously different than what he's dominated on so far in the series.
Yeah, I'm really excited just to see how this pick and ban phase goes, because like we see the same bans. We see a Trundle ban coming in for the Echo.
Yep, and then that
Which
leaves
I think is
Alistar
really good.
open then.
And that leaves Alistar open.
Which is, in my opinion, Respect's probably strongest champion so far this season.
I would agree, but Trundle's been doing a lot of work this patch. In this fight. We're going to see a Caitlyn Braum. We're going to see like really different styles for each of these teams coming out, which is I'm really glad to see. Because, SS Boosted basically picked both teams basically picked like the exact same comp style between the two games. Oh, we have a Sivir comp with Skarner and Echo. And then they're going to secure that counter pick on mid lane.
One thing I want to point out is On the Wind getting his Echo. Just something to watch for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a champion he can really thrive on. Like Aurelia, obviously, is one of his long-time comfort champs. But
the Aurelion Soul was left open.
Oh man. Yeah,
Yes.
so On the Wind had a very volatile laning experience as Aurelia, so he wasn't able to fulfill the Aurelia dream. Echo, on the other hand, is someone he can just sort of absent-mindedly farm out the lane and then become a huge teleporter in the late game. But yeah, this is really the shining moment. Actually, this whole draft is really the shining moment, but specifically, let's talk about Aurelion Sol.
I am very excited to see the Aurelion Sol in a competitive 5v5. Seen him do some work in solo queue, and very fun champion to watch. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm excited to see.
It's a lot
except
of fun
not
to
in the
see.
lane. Yeah.
What's that?
His laning matchups in mid can be a little boring, but besides that, super fun to watch.
No, once you get that giant galaxy flying down the mid lane and it's big enough to stun the whole enemy team, forget about it.
Awesome, right? Yeah. I was because the thing with Aurelion Sol is he does this thing where if he doesn't like his lane matchup, is that if he doesn't like the main matchup, he just goes in, turns his W on, wipes the wave,
then leaves.
Waits for the next one, does the next one, and then he uses his E. I cannot remember what his E is called, but
oh man, Me neither. It's
But
eluding
the
me.
combination of the momentum and the flight, he gets back to lane, and like it doesn't matter. Like
Right.
even if he has a suboptimal, like he doesn't have to have an optimal back time to like maybe not miss minions. Like he just doesn't miss any.
It's called Comet of Legends.
Yeah.
This is E's name.
It's an
Yeah.
adequately cool name.
In the
Yeah.
playstyle you just described, in that, what I assume what it was a lot of spectators' first time seeing Aurelion Sol was during MSI. CLG Hui actually picked it game 1 of the tournament against RNG, and he
Yeah.
did exactly that. He would just go into the lane, W active, push out the wave, and immediately backed. He backed like 5 times in probably like 7 minutes, and like the casters are like, "This is crazy," but it makes sense, and like that's Aurelion Sol's playstyle, and it's like really interesting. And then yeah, in the mid game, Hui was like coming down, Dan, like you said, like just entire lane with Q stun, and basically the enemy team's like, okay, we're out of this lane, and then you just get a bunch of lane pressure for free.
Yeah.
It was really interesting, especially. Oh, sorry, go Dan.
Oh no, go for it. I'll just add after.
Alright, like that, like especially when like you're mentioning the CLGs, like when they picked it, they used it to like neutralize the enemy mid laner's effect. Like they did it to a great effect. Like their best games with it were against SKT and RNG, where like the teams with the 2 strongest mid laners in the turret team was like, yeah, we're just gonna nullify your mid laner. Like they can't fight me. I'm wiping the wave and leaving. I'm not there to fight.
Right, and even aside from just his sort of like odd playstyle, is that he's just a new champion. Like another interesting fact about that matchup, and why maybe CLG picked it, I'm not quite sure, but RNG's mid laner Zhao Hu, he said he's never played against Aurelion Sol, like ever in solo queue, not even once. So he was playing Azir, someone who actually probably could have like stood toe to toe with Aurelion Sol in lane, but just basically didn't. He just like conceded the lane and just like let Aurelion Sol do his thing. And that might be what Wang does here. I mean, Thor, he plays the game a considerable amount, but I don't see Aurelion Sol in my solo queue game, so it's really about, do you know how to play against it? Whether and I guess it's another argument whether if it's like really broken or not.
Last patch it definitely was. He did receive some sizable nerfs this patch, but I think he's still a very strong champion. Just like last patch, like he had like a 55% win rate with people who are just playing him their first like 1 through 5 games in ranked. Like they're just picking him up and they're getting these really nice win rates. And like people who are like maining the champ now were like hitting like 60 to 70% win rates with him.
Yep. So Skarner pick for Dub Drum. I don't know if we haven't touched on that yet, right?
No, we haven't. We've
Yeah.
almost pretty much just only talked about Aurelion Sol.
Aurelion Sol. Dub Drum, I'm gonna look it up, but last series for sure in the quarterfinals, he was still undefeated on this champion, even in solo queue. It was like 12-0.
14-0 was the brag.
Wow. I mean, yeah. So this guy's good on Skarner. So it's not Zach though, because obviously Waifu, they didn't have an answer to Zach. Zach was banned. But I guess that's sort of a saving grace for Waifu, because I think if your blue side, you end your bans first, right? On blue side?
Yeah, blue side ends ban
Wow.
first.
So they didn't ban Zach. So they're actually allowing them to play Zach again.
No, they had first pick option, and then so
Yeah,
and
so Greg goes to play Zach?
They banned him
boosted
second
ban
round.
Zach. Boosted ban Zach.
Yep.
Oh,
And
second round. I thought it was
third ban. No, they banned
Oh,
it
it was
third.
third?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boosted's bans went.
What was second
I don't
round?
remember what.
Lucian.
Oh, okay.
It was Renekton,
Lucian, yeah.
Lucian,
It was
and
something-
Zach.
Yeah.
What was the first ban?
Renekton.
Renekton, yeah. Renekton,
Yeah.
Lucian.
They just don't want Swift
Zach.
to have that Renekton.
No, I mean that is Swift's best champion. It just
Yeah,
is.
My
He's had a
way-
lot of
really
success with the Renekton.
Can carry games on that.
He's got the dank purple flag. I just noticed that. That's the first time I've seen a level 6 champion mastery.
Who does?
Aurelion Sol, my way.
Oh,
He's got that.
wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wang plays a lot of Aurelion
He's
Sol.
got the
then.
dank purple.
Holy crap.
Yeah, no, he does.
Okay, so this is gonna be hopefully a great game here. But
Yeah,
there's
no,
another
like-
point I wanted to touch on before we get too far into the game, is the bot lane, which for Salvo Tree has been going pretty badly in my opinion for
Yeah.
just how consistent they've been throughout the course of the season. Not only going even, but like most of the time just straight up winning bottom lane matchups, even against really good bot lanes. they've floundered. Tree been getting caught out in Zyra. Their first game was pretty good. They just sort of farmed passively. There wasn't a lot of interaction from the double teleport. But this game, they pick an extremely safe lane. They pick Caitlyn and Braum. I mean, Salvo, he's very good on long range hyper carries, and that's what Caitlyn can become in this meta. But
Yeah.
Tree on Braum is really just his wheelhouse. Like, I don't expect Tree or Salvo to die this laning phase without like extreme double teleport jungler interaction. I think they're just gonna farm this one out and get to that mid game where they can maybe try to like get some good team fights in on their own terms, which they really haven't yet done
Yeah.
this series.
Minions have spawned.
Interesting. Okay, so some Spire contention here.
Maybe he thinks he can cap it right away. Maybe.
Captain took that big passive hit from Jarvan.
I think
Ouch.
it's something cadence. Let's look this up.
It's like
Martial
Martial.
Martial cadence. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gross, man. That was a beefy hit.
Well,
That was a
It's
beefy
like
auto.
8% current health is I think
Yep,
what it is. or
it's a
something like that.
reverse execute separately.
Yeah.
Is the way I think of it.
A reverse execute. Yeah. I mean, it does. I guess so. It hurts more when people are healthier.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so once again, standard starts, nothing crazy. No lane swaps either, which I guess for these two teams, there was actually a very high chance there could have been a lane swap because both of these teams
Yeah.
know how to lane swap. I mean, Waifu,
Yeah.
SS Boosted has actually done it during the regular season, whereas Waifu, I don't know if they've ever done it because they've always been very confident in their 2v2, but they definitely know how to.
Yeah. I'll say.
Oh man, Swift proccing that Thunderlords.
He's looking
On to
much
Captain.
more comfortable in this lane matchup than he has earlier, being very aggressive.
Yeah, pushing this lane in really quickly, making on the win use his corrupting potion stacks.
I'm curious to see Swift's build path this game. I mean, after last game, rushing Tiamat and then into Cleaver.
Black Cleaver,
And then
yeah.
deciding to go to Ravenous rather than Titanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's odd because he was kind of behind. He wasn't like, ahead, 2-0 or like, up in CS. He was considerably behind it where he needed to be more tankier for the team comp to thrive.
One thing I wanted to bring up too is I've noticed On the Wind is just being more globally effective than Swift is, which is something I wouldn't expect.
Yeah,
I
for
feel like
someone-
those roles were reversed.
I was like, for someone who has had a rather unimpressive regular season, On the Wind is looking very, very good this series.
That's true. Yeah. He definitely has been the weak.
Just like in comparison.
Oh yeah, and the 2v2 begins here. Double buff junglers interact, and a lot of health bars going down really low. Seaman has to flash, and the red buff is ticking, and Jarvan was able to pick up the kill with the Q on the end though. But Captain, he's going, phase dives in, and he's gonna flash, get the auto, and finish off Swift. So a 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day. But first blood going over to Waifu Superstar.
I would have
I'm
liked to
surprised.
see Kragan come back and kind of help Swift out there. I mean, he was
Yeah.
just kind of sitting watching with his knock up at the ready.
I'm surprised we didn't see
Aurelion Sol
Kraken
coming
try to
down.
make a turnaround.
Yeah. Comment of the Legend was coming out, Lieutenant, with a very early respect flash, and the stun's gonna land onto Medic. But he is that tanky Alistar, and he will walk away.
TP came in on
Teleport
Annie.
coming in for Thor, though. He's Annie. He's on the chase here. Flash is available.
No stun.
He doesn't have the stun charge, though.
Yep, that will be
Oh.
TP advantage now for Waifu Superstar. That was a really good play. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
got,
one
like,
for
some
one
good-
teleport still.
one for one teleports.
Wang and Captain.
No,
both
Wang
have
didn't
teleport.
No,
TP.
Wang came down with Comet Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but there's still no teleport advantage, per se.
Oh no, but like they let
Oh, yeah,
Swift
they-
now
yeah.
safely TP
I
back
agree
the
in that
lane.
skirmish, yeah.
Yeah. So that skirmish brought the teleport advantage, like it neutered the teleport advantage that SS Boosted had.
So, Comet of Legend, for those of you who don't know, at the end of its range, there's like a little floating orb, and I saw that sitting in the middle of the lane. I'm like, what
Oh!
the shit is that?
Dude,
and
today
then
I learned-
Aurelion.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a Syndra bug infecting this game.
Yeah, no, not so much. That's
Because
just
Syndra's
Aurelion
like,
Soul.
aside from Azir, like the buggiest champ in this game. I was like, oh my god, Syndra's infecting this game. This is ridiculous, Riot. Get your spaghetti go together. But wow, you're right. Okay, so that's the end point, right? That's where the momentum is at its max. Because you don't just keep going, or do you actually stop?
No, you
No,
stop.
you stop there.
You
That's
drop
like
out
because
of
it
there.
has
Oh.
it has a cast distance, and the distance goes
Wow.
up with level.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, like you actually hit the maximum momentum like pretty early on. Like the
What do you
momentum,
mean?
like you don't continually accelerate faster and faster. Like there is only to like a certain
Yeah.
point, but you
You
reach
reach-
it really quickly.
Yeah, you reach terminal velocity within like the first second of casting it.
Yeah.
Without moving, right?
No, you move when you can. Do you know?
No, I
have you-
thought moving doesn't.
No, okay,
It
so
doesn't slow you down?
So he just commented legend out of there. So
Yeah.
what happens is as you move around in a straight line, and you can turn very slightly towards the end or towards the beginning, but if
Yeah.
it charges up
Oh.
stacks like a Luden's Echo would, and then you
Gotcha.
can cast it.
And once you get 100, and the important thing,
Gang coming in
I got you
onto
now.
Swift. He's
Yeah,
able
and he's
to
gonna have to
banner dash out of there.
knock up
Yeah.
combo out of it, and
Yeah.
he will see the safety of his tier 2.
something to say is like, so even though you don't actually have to have it charged up to 100 to cast it, it's just once you charge it up once to 100, the ability becomes castable.
I'm pretty sure you can lose it though. I'm pretty sure there's like a cooldown in which you can't cast it.
There might be. I just know for like, I haven't played a ton of them, but I've known from playing them that like I've gotten the ability, I've walked around a lane, and then I've casted it just
Okay.
straight away.
Okay. Oh, flash
Tibur's
out of
missing.
ammo. Tibur. Yeah. So I guess a flash for flash there. Kragan flashing out of the Tibers.
That's a very good flash for Kragan, and I think
Yeah.
it's actually like overall a positive trade, just because Annie is a champion that's so dictated by her like range of engagement. So which
That's
is why
true.
flash is such a huge summoner spell for her to have.
Right. And granted, flash on Rek'Sai is also super good, but yeah, you're right. Definitely more impactful for Annie to lose it at this stage of the game. Yeah. So after reading the ability now, Common of Legend, I get it.
Okay,
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Actually, we're gonna.
definitely one of the most unique playstyles and one of the most unique abilities out of anyone in the game right now.
Yeah, the knee-jerk reaction of the community was like, "Oh, Aurelion Sol is just like so lame compared to all these other champions who like super overloaded kids and like 5 passives." But you know, it's really the beauty of like this playstyle that's so cool. The theme of this champion is like probably one of the coolest in the game.
And just a casual 1v1 up in the top lane.
Yeah, and he actually, Wang teleports into the bottom lane. There's 4 members here. Kragan not able to land the knock-up on the medic because he'll flash out to safety. So a lot of people devoted to this bot lane here. Trades the flash onto Alistar, and there's really only pressure for SBL Friendship in the top lane. But he's gonna recall.
I'm confused.
It's just-
There's just like they're trying really hard to make something happen, but the gaps and the misplay is just so glaringly obvious. I'm confused.
It's just really interesting. It's like something that isn't totally expecting, but like boosted friendship is just outplaying Waifu Superstar in just like every role pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
They're not like playing better as a team or anything. They're literally just our mid lane's doing better, our top lane's doing better, our AD carry and jungle and support are all doing better. Like every game so far. This game's been a little different where it's like
Still
mid's doing pretty
even.
well and like
Yeah.
mid bot I'd say are like even. Tops obviously very much in the favor of boosted, but
Yeah. And that Aurelion Soul though, like that gank out of Wang, you don't want to teleport into a gank. You wanna use your E and like get the stun going. So it's like a super ineffective teleport gank out of Aurelion Soul.
I mean you can TP gank with it
Yeah.
as well, but
I guess you could, but like
it's not the
seemed,
ideal
it seemed
situation.
really reaching what he did there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was kind of referencing. Is that just seems so awkward. Like, you
Yeah,
teleport
exactly.
in,
Yeah.
and then you're moving incredibly slow, and then you just Comet of Legends over there, and without a stun cooking, it was just
Yeah.
weird. It was weird to me.
Honestly, no, it seemed really forced. Like he didn't even have boots, so he's like, I have to blow Comet to even try to catch up to these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but now that actually hands over a TP advantage 2-1 in SS Boosted Friendship's favor. HS0 is gonna land a big Cataclysm onto Captain, and he'll actually Chrono
Teleport
break
coming in.
early to survive and flash out back into safety, but Wang Commodore Legend over the Baron pit, and he's gonna see a stun onto Captain. He will go down. AGS here will be rewarded that kill, and now Seaman and Admiral, they're in the top lane. Skarnerell goes on to Aurelion Sol, but he will use his ultimate to disengage, so he will stay alive. And it'll be just a 1-0 in favor of Waifu.
Really good play out of Wang there.
Yeah.
I mean, he picked up.
That's what I was talking about. That's a good Aurelion Sol game.
That was really nice. Like, everything about that. He forced Skarner to have to ult him on his own, even though no one else was there to like put damage on him while he was CC. Like, Skarner just had to ult him to drag him away from the fight.
Yeah, and then lining up for a beautiful
Yeah.
Aurelion Sol ultimate just to disengage.
Yeah.
Thing, that was a good fight, but I wanna look at this bot lane. It's 0-0-0. Like you said, Tree and Salvo aren't going to die with this combination of the range and Tree on his Braum, but out of character, Salvo is down in CS. I don't think there's been a game this season when he's been down in CS. And the TP coming in, Caster's Curse.
And the thing is, they've even devoted resources,
Late TP
Waifu, to the bottom lane, and so Cloud Teleport just being channeled there, and Captain finishes his, and he goes down, but that's... Wait, and they're gonna pick up Rift Herald too?
Yeah, the first Rift
Oh,
of this
man.
series. They're gonna give it to Annie.
I
would
don't
to
like
see
putting
it.
that on Annie, but
Yeah, I would have liked to see that on Skarner.
Yeah, that's odd, but that's just some unlucky play really out of Kraken, because he was just on the bot side of the map farming, and it looks like SS Boosted Friendship with a good amount of planning. Maybe I don't know if they knew. If they knew Kraken was down there, that was a beautiful plan to take that Rift Herald for free and to get the flash out of Salvo as well.
yeah, it worked out very, very well for them.
Yep. But ton of vision. Oh my god, Waifu, I think improving significantly on this river control around Dragon. This is the first game they are on blue side. So it gets a little bit easier, but man, look at the wards around Dragon.
This is the first time that I feel like Waifu's actually been like in a good position at like closing into the 15-minute mark. Like
Right.
all their lanes are pretty even. Bot lane was a bit more even earlier. Evil Eye's starting to take a bit of a lead in CS, but like Swift is able to like with some really nice gank pressure from Maya Wang and Kragan has been able to kind of drag this top lane back to even in his where it's not just all the way on the wind's favor. And good vision control. Like this is the best their vision's been this series.
For Waifu Superstar, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. Like,
And
I was talking about like Waifu's like this is the best that Waifu's server's like been in position going in. Except for maybe like the one game. I don't remember like exactly how the first game was going 15 minutes in, but this one's looking a
I
lot
remember
better, at least
correctly, it was
compared to
pretty
last
even.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last game was kind of a stomp, but this incredibly close. Waifu Superstar isn't gonna take it sitting down. They're gonna go out with a bang if they're gonna go out. Especially Swift. I mean, he started out 2-0 and now he's back to 2-2. Just trying to make things happen for his team.
Yeah. No, he had a rough start. I mean, he started off 1-1, and then he went 1-2. Now he's 2-2. So
Yeah, it looks like Waifu's putting more priority on keeping this Dragon control up for them.
yeah.
So we're back to
Yeah.
some peaceful farming here.
I was like, but just something to capitalize, like, Wang's been doing good. Like, his Aurelion Sol, he's even with a
Oh, Medic. Checking out the Dragon Pit, seeing what's up, and he's gonna find 3 members of Waifu Superstar, but he don't give a fuck. He's Alistar with that ultimate and knocks back Tree into Admiral, but he's gonna get stunned up now into the Glacial Fissure.
And
He
he's
will
taking a
flash
lot of
out to
damage.
save his life. Skarnerall goes on to Wang on Aurelion Sol, and he will be the first to go down in this fight. Now Captain in the back gets the stun onto Kragan. Kragan is Rek'Sai. He will tunnel away, but gets stopped by the headbutt pulverized by Medic, and it's gonna be 2 kills, 3 kills even, going over
nothing.
to SS Boosted Friendship.
people
3 for
didn't
nothing.
want to commit. Like, they had some awkward like committal issues there, where they didn't want to like blow all their CC, and then they like, oh wait, we need to blow CC, and they like kind of just staggered everything too long. Like they almost killed Annie, but they didn't have like enough cooldowns or CC, I guess, or something. And then so Skarner have to drag Aurelion Sol into Annie to get to blow her full combo.
Yeah, that's strange. And then Swift had his ultimate up too, or his teleport and his ultimate up.
Yeah.
Just nothing to teleport to, sadly.
I mean, he had that ward on the other side of the wall.
True, yeah, he could have banner dashed over that just to get the ult in, but...
Yeah. I mean, they did get the tower to, like, match for the dragon, but...
Yeah.
It is a little awkward, because, like, I think that fight could have been handled a lot better for Waifu Superstar.
Yeah. 3-man push from S's Booster Friendship on bot tower will bait out the teleport from Swift. And... Okay, so Wang used the teleport to get back to lane as well. So... Yeah, they're using their teleports just to save themselves. They're not using it proactively, but more reactively. Just to try to keep the dream alive here. They're only down, like, what, less than 1,000 gold right now.
No, they're actually not that bad of a spot.
For Captain, and he's going to come out. Tree's going to get stunned up. A little bar from his team, but it's a 3-man parallel convergence stun, and Tree will be the first to drop. And it looks like to be the only one, but man, that parallel convergence...
On point.
Ironically, like, this game is, like, a lot closer than, like, the score looks. I mean, this might change with them getting a tower, but it's, like, it's barely 1,000 gold lead for 2-6 kills.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are... Waifu is up a tower, so they have been a little quicker on that as far as just lane management. Swift, being the dutiful top laner that he is, able to take down his top lane tower. So what dragon was that? I don't know. Did we even take note of that? The last dragon?
That was Earth.
Mountain Drake.
Okay, Mountain.
Yeah, that was the first dragon of the game.
Okay. Okay. I mean, we've already seen the impact of what 2 Mountain Drakes can do. Oh my God, Admiral with the walk bear.
Whoa.
Oh man, Tree's gonna love that one. Wang's getting walk beared on, getting in the threat zone.
That was
of the little girl.
Was 100% my Wang not respecting Admiral's damage. Like, he just did not respect the damage that a full combo from Andy can do.
Well, lucky for Wang, my cat knocked my mouse away, so we completely missed him getting deleted.
Wow.
Good job, Loki.
Good job, Loki. MVP.
Yeah, and that's odd because he should already know, like, the damages from this Annie. Because he just got shit on last game by it. Like, I mean, honestly, he did. Like, there was a lot of times where Wang was just in the range of Incinerate, which Incinerate did get a buff in range, I believe. It's, like, even longer than Disintegrate now, her Q. Like, so people who don't know the Annie abilities, I think the W range is longer than the Q range now, but it may be mistaken.
But you can flash it.
Yeah, you can flash it though, so it's not like instantaneous and like weird how like some cone abilities are in League of Legends. There's a lot more counterplay now, but it is longer than Disintegrate. So yeah, once again, just really not, like you said, not respecting Thor, and you need to respect Thor right now because Thor and Dubjump are the star players of this SS Boosted Friendship this series.
Yeah. Oh, so in regular season, it was Dubjump was really good, but it was Evilite was really, really big, and like Thor had his good games.
Yeah, and
but,
you're right.
Like, Thor and Dub had like good games and everything, but like Evilite was like the man for this team.
That was a pretty impressive ult out of Tree there, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. He took it, Annie's Tibbers right to the face, and they're going to siege another tower. I mean, that was a crisp rotation. 2 took mid, rotate down to bot, take that tower.
It just looks like it's automatic for SS Boosted Friendship. I don't know if they're even thinking about these things. It just happens, and the Flash Pulverize comes in from Medic. Gonna headbutt Kragan into the tower, gonna try to zone him out of the fight, but oh my God, a lot of crazy moves, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be Seaman in the back on a Waifu Superstar, taking a lot of tower shots. The Medic goes down from the tower as well. Aurelion Soul's actually gonna be rewarded that kill, and he's in the range of his W, landing the damage. Swift trying to come in the range to do the damage. A lot of damage is traded back and forth. A lot of members low. Admiral gonna pick up the kill. Actually, Captain gonna pick up the kill. Kragan. Wang picks up the kill, and now Tree's back from death. Double kill for Wang, and they're gonna stop the chase. And at the end of the day,
it's some number for some number, because who can keep track?
I think a 3-for-2 in favor of Waifu because Tree died and then came back. So
Thor messed up. He flashed in to try and finish off Wang, and he just didn't have like cooldowns. Like he's like flashing in and just didn't cast the spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the last thing. He got inside the radius, and then realized he didn't want to be
fucked
inside. Yeah, he didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, and so Science of Life for this Waifu Superstar lineup, they win a very heated engage under their tower, and then they'll trade, they'll just get a tower on the back end of it. So tied in towers now. Still a gold lead for SS Boosted Friendship, but it is considerably closer than it was about 2 minutes ago.
They needed that. That was huge for them.
Yeah, it's a lot, and not only that, it's just like, you know, obviously, just gold-wise, they're back in the game, but just momentum and morale-wise, that was good for them. Oh, Wang spots out an Echo in this top lane here. He's just gonna slowly glide away.
How graceful, really.
How graceful, yeah. And in Aurelion Sol, I guess I forget who he built. That was a long time ago. That was 6.8 in MSI, so it's 6.10. Rod of Ages, and looks to be building into that Rylai's.
Rylai's is
Yep.
the core for.
So he's gonna be a very tanky Aurelion Sol.
Let me point out his Thor. This is the third game now Thor playing Annie, and he's doing the Roa Rylai's as well.
Oh, yeah, he does. That's
he's done that every single game as Annie.
yeah, and I guess that's kind of the new build for Annie. Like she benefits a lot more from being tanky because a lot of her damage is spread out throughout her like rotations, and especially the longer she's alive, the longer Tibbers is alive as well. So it's that makes sense. It's actually a pretty good build nowadays on Annie.
Yeah.
And Dragon's gonna be taking a whoa, Dragon! What?
Oh my!
Yes.
No, he didn't take it.
No,
he
that's
didn't take it, you
Steven.
fool.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And
Captain on the back line, taking out
Yeah.
Salvo, doing tons of damage here. Looks like Waifu Superstar going to try to come back and peel this Echo off.
Oh! 4-man pulverized from Medic and Waifu Superstar. They have to
Salvo is
scatter.
running for his life. Taken down.
But Waifu Superstar, they still have a couple of their damage dealers alive, and that's going to be a double kill for Swift.
So my Wang was on the back line, and
Wait, so a 2-for-1 in favor of Waifu.
Yep.
But Dragon going over to
Boosted
SS Booster Friendship.
Yeah.
and which dragon was that?
That was Ocean.
Ocean, and
okay.
Seaman and Medic, they're going back in. Same with Captain, they're going to try to pick up this kill on the tree, but he's a very tanky prob, and he's very persistent on not dying, and Kragan will pick up the kill on Captain. Seaman will be able to get away with his life. Four members here in the mid lane for Waifu. See if they can get a mid push going.
This game
They
is
have a
like
big
dead
wave
even
for
now
it.
again. This is awesome.
Oh, they're
They
after
need to
the
stay and take
recall
this.
here
What?
under this big wave.
Oh,
No,
Lucky
dude, you gotta worry about. They have double, like they have TP.
Yeah,
Yeah, very true.
good call. Yeah.
Yeah. We do
But,
see the Rylai's being completed for Aurelion Sol, which is really, really big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it very difficult to escape or re-engage on him once he gets like that max range W star hitting you, just because the slow is like reapplied every freaking star, and that way he just kind of gets to pace you, and it's like you're not moving fast enough to just turn around and get inside the radius.
Yeah, so I mean, it's Waifu Superstar definitely playing a lot better over the course of these team fights in this game 3. They are sticking to it. They're sticking to their guns and staying in these fights, and it has paid off for them. They've won, at least come out ahead, at least by 1 kill the last 2 or 3 fights. They're still down in gold, however, and they are down 2 Drakes. But their composition might scale a little bit better into this late game.
Aurelion Sol does scale very well. I'm not 100% sure about new Annie, but if it's anything like old Annie, you don't actually scale that well in the late game. You can make big plays, like if you get a flash bear onto 2 people and you just delete them, I mean, that's still a game-winning play. But compared to some other
Oh,
mid-range
and Swift, he finds the initiation. Cataclysm's down onto Admiral. Kalen all this charge, but he dies before that even finishes. Wang gonna pick up that easy kill, and look at this, Waifu Superstar on the proactive play.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the first
Echo's in
times
the bot
in
lane,
the
he's
series.
split pushing.
Yeah.
We have the split push coming out from Boosted, trying to make up for what they're losing in the mid lane.
Yeah, and this is a really low tower here, so he will pick up this tier 2, but
They
it
don't
might
have
be
creep.
traded for 2 towers. Maybe not actually. There's no. Oh, another wave coming in for Waifu Superstar, and they do have their Caitlyn here to do the damage, but
Echo
teleport
has
is
the
now
teleport.
channeled. Yep, and it will save the tower. So it's just a tower trade at the end of the day.
And
A
Sivir is
mid
still
tier 1
pushing.
for a bottom tier 2.
They was actually gonna be able to pick up
Yeah.
top power.
Oh my god, that's huge. But AGS0 goes in under Lieutenant, but he'll blow the flash into Sivir, but they have the long
the heal.
flank.
That's 3 summoner spells for Sivir, and she's still gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Sometimes you just gotta
What?
Oh,
take
that
your,
flash.
take your lumps.
What the?
Hello? Craig? Hello? Craig rewarded. I don't know.
Is
I
your
don't want
mic
to say
on?
rewarded that kill. That was arguably a very bad flash, but okay.
I don't even think there was arguably about that. That was.
A bad flash.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
You know,
I'll say it so you two don't have to. That was a bad.
That kill.
You know, I don't know what you guys use for your ping key, but mine's still G, and
Yep.
like, I feel like that might have been a ping flash.
Bad fingered the.
The good
bad fingered the
old.
flash.
Fat
Back
finger the
finger.
flash, yeah. But it's whatever because it's tied now in kills.
Yep.
Still, but the gold lead is actually expanding for SS Boosted
It's
Friendship
those
because
global
they're
towers.
just getting the towers.
I mean, that was 2 inner towers for an outer and a kill.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
split push was rough.
And although Glimmer of Hope, it is the mid tier one, which is usually valued a little bit higher than a lot. But yeah, you're right. It's still
Yeah.
still at the end of the day a pretty detrimental blow to
Yeah.
the base of Waifu Superstar. Dragon's gonna be up in a minute 20 here. It's really Waifu Superstar's prerogative to try to get this one. It's a Fire Dragon. Is this the first one of the series?
Yeah, first one of the series.
Oh, random my ass Riot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Everything
anyway, Infernal
changed when
Dragon.
the Fire Nation attacked. Been waiting to say that all series.
So this one, Infernal Dragon, Drake is a percentage attack damage and ability power. Really, it's just good for everybody. I mean, like, there's every team comp can have a win condition, but at the end of the day, like, who wouldn't want just more attack damage and ability power? More attack damage does really well for Jarvan, and does pretty well for Salvo as well.
I mean, it does well for Echo. I mean, he's got to proc his passive with his auto attacks.
That's also true.
Everybody wants more damage. Is the moral of the story here,
Yeah.
and they're all looking like they want a position for this. They do have that.
I was saying.
Waifu
I mean,
Superstar does have
Waifu's-
that ward back there if they want to
Yeah.
throw any TPs out of Swift
Yeah.
or Wang.
And this is as 2 teams that have been like doing team fights all the time, this is the most important dragon for them. Like every single game's all been all about the team fights. So the one that gives straight combat stats is the most important one probably.
And the fight begins. Seaman just gonna walk in to try to start the fight, but Aurelion Solo, he's in the backline. He has the W activated and will lay down a ton of damage. Seaman gonna shut down Swift. Captain gonna pick up the kill onto Kragan. And now Salvo running for his life, using his summoners to try to stay alive, but it won't be enough. Double kill for Captain, and 4 members dead for Waifu Superstar.
4 for 0. I guess that's just what happens when you try to force something too hard, and it's now a 5k gold lead in
Yep.
favor of boosted.
That's gonna be a Baron. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't even hear about the Fire Dragon. They're just like, yeah, we're just gonna take Baron.
Yep, that's
Yeah. That's
what,
it.
whatever
disheartening.
momentum and morale Waifu was trying to build there throughout this course of the mid game might have just been crushed
Yeah.
by a pretty devastating team fight, and that was a pretty fair 5v5.
I think it
Wang,
absolutely
he
was.
Oh,
was
no.
investigating the Baron River in a headbutt pulverize combo. But it won't. Nothing will happen there. So some Baron recalls, picking up that Baron. It's a 7k gold lead now, 6.5 really for SS Boosted Friendship as we approach the 30-minute mark.
Waifu Superstar, their hopes hang in the balance around this dragon. I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna try to
Also-
force it again, and it's either feast or famine here.
I gotta mention this quick before the team fight. On the Wang upgraded his Dark Suit and Soul Mage Eyes.
Yeah,
Just
Silver
after
ult
this.
popped, and the dragon was being done by Kragan, but now he's in the dragon pit. He's
It
Gonna-
gets taken
wait.
by Kragan.
Oh no,
We
Kragan
stacking,
did get it.
boys. We stacking.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. 14 stacks on Maji's for
Yep.
the captain.
Yeah, but hey, Kragan once again with some good smiting.
Kragan's
Picks up
smites
the
have
smite.
been on point lately.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that Waifu Superstar really needs at this point. And Parallel Convergence comes out, but it's gonna be a big pulverized combo onto the backline of Waifu Superstar. Salvo is almost immediately deleted from the fight, and now goes 4 members dead now for Waifu Superstar.
This could be the
Really still
game.
trying to keep the
Yeah,
dream
this
alive,
very well
keep
could be the
the
game.
solar system alive. But alas,
They have the
black
Baron
hole.
buff. They have the Mountain Drake. They have the minions to siege. This is looking like a GG.
This is
That's the
Kragan.
series.
this is it. I mean, Kragan's full
The
health
lone
Rek'Sai
she
here.
monster.
It's Kragan versus the world. We have 10 seconds left before anyone else from
Yeah.
Waifu
He better
Superstar comes
do
back
something.
up.
He's got to pull the trigger if he wants to save the day.
Oh yeah, he's headbutted out of the way. Now his tower goes down. He's gonna flash knock up onto the backline. He's just basically gonna trade his life for some time here, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Now
No.
Salvo's stunned into the backline, and now he goes
Damn.
down. This is SS Boosted Friendship with the 3-0 over Waifu Superstar in the semifinals.
In a dominating fashion. This is something that was unexpected by many, at least to be in such a crazy fashion. Like,
Ending the
Jeez.
game with 25 stacks on Echo. That's so troll.
yeah.
Man, I would not. If you told me that Boosted Friendship was going to 3-0 sweep Waifu Superstar in the semifinals, I would have told you to get the fuck out of here. Because nobody saw this coming. But here they are.
Get me
3-0.
whatever drugs you're doing.
Because
Yeah.
I don't believe
I
it.
mean, this is Waifu Superstar's kryptonite, man. They have 5-0'd.
5-0
They are
Waifu
5-0.
Superstar. And that
Waifu
was
Superstar.
all the hype. It's just black hole into nothingness.
Into nothing. It imploded. The hype was
It
so
imploded.
big, it got massively expansive until it was
Waifu.
Wow.
No waifu today, boys.
Oh, but I mean, if we're looking at damage charts right now. Wang, he was trying on his really famous Aurelion Soul pick. He used the
Yeah.
top of the damage charts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
but
he
like,
did good.
look at his team though, by like a mile.
Yeah.
I mean, he over
I-
doubled Caitlyn's damage.
Yeah.
I really was. I mean, I was really unimpressed with the rest of the waifu team that showed up for this series. Yeah, it was. I mean, Boosted played really well. They came to play, and waifu just.
Seemed like
Fuck
they
it.
just laid down. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I do have
That
to say
was-
about this last game in this series is it was on the Wind's main objective to just find the Caitlyn and dive her as hard as he could. I mean, he
That's how
had
you play
Caitlyn's
tank
number.
Echo.
Yeah, he had Caitlyn's number the whole game. It seemed like.
Yeah. That is how you play tank Echo. You pick the carry that you want to screw over, and you run at them, and you run at them, and then you're low, and then you ult out,
And
and then you run at them again.
Well, all right.
And
Do we?
he did a great job.
Do we want to
I
bring
don't-
anybody in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So we
I
brought
think
Thor in
Dub Drum
last
has
time.
to come in. He was like the MVP for the first 2 games, and he
We
had
gotta
a
get
very
Dub Drum
strong.
in here.
Yeah.
We
And
have.
He was involved in
have to.
17 of 21 kills this game as well. Like the dude was a monster all
Let's get that
series.
big floppy Zach in here, and then.
And then, I mean, he was the only one who was like always huge every game. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you could like
just
pick.
yeah,
another
just Dub
person.
Drum. We solo interviewed Thor last week. Let's just
Okay.
get Dub
Yeah.
Drum in there.
We'll describe Dub Drum. He was
Yeah.
the MVP of this series for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Do 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 do.
Could you show damage charts, Stan?
Yeah,
we
sure,
want
man.
to see it.
Yeah. Some
How
people
about
think
that?
How about that damage, yo?
I don't. Do we have anyone to pull him in here?
Hello.
Uh,
No, Tree went off. Wait, hold on.
Let's just skip
poke
it. We
Tree
don't
and
have
tell
to
him-
interview Dub Drum. Let's just
no,
skip it.
we have to interview him. I need to hear this.
Dub Drum for a little bit longer.
30. Poke,
Let's just skip it.
Poke, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Skip it. Skip it.
I'm not skipping this shit. Dude. I need
No,
to
30,
hear this
30,
shit
poke
talk.
Tree. Poke Tree. He's
I
probably
don't-
not watching the stream because he's
I don't want
tilted.
to poke Tree.
Just fucking poke him.
He's not even online.
Yes, he is.
Oh, on TeamSpeak?
Yeah. Gotta
Okay.
go relatively quick. Like
Shit.
17 channels up. Don't worry about it.
Oh, jeez, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he's been poked.
Well,
User was moved
hey,
to your channel.
Hey!
there he
Hello.
is, the one Death
All right,
King
so-
here.
So there's a few things I'd like to say before we start with
Oh
questions.
god, here we go. Here we go.
One, I would like Swift to dream about me every night from now on. It was my motivation to make sure that I kicked his ass this entire series. For those of you who don't know, Swift had a dream of me dying.
You did die
killing
this
me.
series, though. You did
Yeah,
die.
once out of 3 games. I mean, cry me a river. And then I'd also like to add that dream team that Swift believes in will forever always be 5-0 by the SS Boosted Friendship.
Rip.
And that's what I'll say about that.
No
Okay.
flowers.
When you
no
messaged me
flowers for the
5-0,
superstar.
I thought you were talking about like how you were going to 2-0 Swift team for the last 2 games, and they were going to 3-0 30 teams, and I was like, no chance. And then I realized you were talking about this 5-0 against Waifu, and I was like, oh, yeah, that works. That's a thing.
Yeah, no. No, these team will be hard. It will be a lot harder than this series, I'll say that
Nah,
much.
they suck.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Okay, well that's enough for now. We maybe get back to that after
Yeah.
some legitimate questions here. So wow, you guys came into the series. I guess let's just start about talk about the drafts, but more specifically the jungle picks, because I mean we brought you in here for a reason. We thought you were the MVP. Zach, in both the 2 games, I mean, is Zach a comfort champ for you, or is it just you think it's really strong right now?
Well, this patch, for some dumb reason, Zach got stronger. And, like, I played him a lot in Season 3, so I was just like, guys, I'm playing Zach. And they're like, are you sure about that? I'm like, I'm gonna play Zach. We'll be fine.
Season 3 translates so well, honestly. If you think about it, Season 3,
Yeah.
Season 6, same thing, right?
No big deal,
Times
right?
2. There we go.
Seemingly.
And then, in terms of the draft, too, Matt has a huge boner for Korean Lucian right now. So, we
I
just
don't even know if
decided
you
to
call
first
it
pick
Korean
it.
Lucian. Everywhere in the
It's
world's
just
been
Lucian
doing
now.
that. The
It-
second that
Lucian has
patch came
evolved.
out, the second this patch came out, everyone's been doing that build.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, we just decided, like, we're just going to first pick Lucian no matter what, and then just form our team around what we assumed that they would pick. So that was fun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, yes, I said game 1. It looked like a very SS boosted friendship composition, but over the course of the series, I feel like you guys maybe showed some stuff we haven't seen before. Just as playstyle wise, like you. Oh, for you, you was the same playstyle. You were very heavy ganking, and you got all your lane snowballing. You guys basically just ran away with the early game. But you guys, your rotations this series were absolutely on point, like really crisp. Was there a lot of practice leading up to this series, or was that just like your team really clicking? Because last week it looked a lot sloppier.
The team from last week did not look nearly the same as the team from this week. It's like what was different as well.
I mean, we're Swift's kryptonite, so, like, we always perform well against Swift's team. So, I mean, I guess it's just in terms of, like, macro play, like, Swift likes to play a very macro-oriented game. And, like, having Wind and me and even John, like, on the same team, like, organizing macro, like, it's just a lot easier because once we can figure out what they're doing, within, like, 30 seconds, we could just form our game around what they're trying to do. So, I mean, like, there was, like Switch would, like, go bot lane and, like, try and re-push, but then we would push up to where he couldn't bounce the wave back, so then eventually the wave would push back onto them, and it was just, I don't know, like, we just like to macro play against their team because we're a little bit better.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like against their team. Like, I don't know.
I feel like you guys did such a good job in the early game that you didn't allow them the opportunity to like enable their macro game because they were already just like stat checked behind. You guys were always ahead, like leading into the team fights, and it didn't even matter if they played it perfectly because sometimes they did, but you guys still came out ahead because you guys were really insistent on getting early leads.
Yeah, like the biggest story of this game was just how, like, this entire series was how your team managed to get a very sizable lead in 2, if not all 3 of the lanes, and then a lead in the jungle, and just rolled over them.
I mean, going into this series, honestly, Dub Job, did you think it was going to be a 3-0?
Oh yeah, easily. Are you kidding me? 5-0 against Swift's team.
Oh my god, someone stop this kid. No
He's
one
on a
saw this
rampage.
happening.
Oh
I
man.
can't. It's Swift. He literally told me that he killed me in a dream. Like I can't. I'm sorry.
Dub came into this interview just with a fucking Gatling gun, just fully loaded, shots everywhere.
I came into this series with a Gatling
Oh,
gun,
Jesus.
dog.
So what do you
God.
think? So do we have those other questions out of the way? Can we talk about how TDO is gonna play you? Can we talk about that yet?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this 30 guy, I know him quite personally. He's gonna choke in the finals. He tends to do that. So
Yeah.
how do you think that's gonna play into your guys' game plan?
I mean, if 30 chokes and loses his ability to talk, like they lose half of their shot calling, because I know Purple can shot call. So like that will benefit us a lot. But like other than that, like in terms of just like both of our teams have really good strengths, but both of our teams can capitalize on like our weak points in certain like situations during a game. So it will be I feel like it's going to be a more of a reactive type of play style than it is like abusing a certain type of position or lane.
Okay.
All right.
Well, there you have it, 30. His whole game plan. Lay it out
Well,
in front of you.
it wasn't much of a game plan. That was like that John Madden breakdown. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, both these teams are
Circle
gonna
this
go
guy
in.
here. He went over here and he did this thing.
yeah,
and
they
then
got some-
floop, touchdown.
Boop.
Everybody's gonna go in, play their game in sports ball.
Yeah, but honestly though, Dub Drum, I am astounded that you only died once this whole series.
That is truly remarkable. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're also playing champions where you're the main initiator.
Yeah.
So like, it's all right for you to die, but you're just like, nah, that ain't me.
Well,
man.
on Zach, it was just like, hey guys, I'm gonna like die with my blobs, and I'm gonna re-engage after you guys do some more damage, and then we're gonna get a kill. And they're like, okay, sounds good.
Well, it certainly worked out for you.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
guess one of the good things too, like even before the team fight would happen, we would like talk for 20 seconds about how the team fight was going to play out, and like it's exactly what we thought it did. So like, very easy to just figure out how to win the game.
Nice. Well, that's all the questions I had. What do you guys think?
I just also want to add that I don't hate Swift. I love him very much. Just like that I can tilt him really easy.
I mean,
I think you have that
he should
power.
talks as well. You gotta bring it back. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's all fair in love and war.
And this
Oh,
is
yeah.
certainly a love relationship. Insert.
I mean, like, I
This
even
steamy
remember, like, my
fanfics.
first season, like, when we played 30's team in the playoffs, it was one of those things where, like, I would literally tell King, I was like,
God.
hey, King, like, we have to respect their bot lane. Like, this is a bot lane that, like, I don't want to disrespect and shit talk, because they're good. So, like, it's one of those things where, like, if I know that I could, like, beat someone, I'll shit talk. But, like, if it's an even matchup, I try not to.
You try not to.
I don't
feel
know
like
if I
sometimes
believe that.
You let the hounds
I
loose.
don't believe that
You
for
forget
a
to tie up
second.
the dogs, man.
Well, either way, does anyone else?
I
have
have
No,
more
that's
to
it.
say? Okay.
One last question, of
All
course,
right.
because we have to ask it. How are you guys? So going to the finals, playing against 30's team. How are you guys feeling about it? Like, are you gonna win? Is it gonna go well? You feeling confident about it? You're gonna lose? You know, let's hear it. How are you feeling going into this matchup against EDO?
Well, after our 5-0 victory against Swift's team, I feel like our team is very confident going into the finals, but what Colin likes to point out is that we don't like to get too hypey before a series or a game because we can let that get to our head. So we're hyped up to play in the finals, but we're gonna obviously after the first game is gonna determine like how hypey our play style or how we play because we're gonna play it like a new game every single time. So going into it, I guess we could just say that we're gonna be prepared and we're gonna try our best and assume the picks that they're gonna pick. Basically, just John Manning you guys right now.
I was afraid that was gonna happen.
Well, I guess we'll see.
I guess just personally, like Thermidor is definitely like been the other jungler this season that's been doing tremendously good. So like for me, like I'm definitely gonna work a little bit more this week and like try and get on like more playmaking junglers just so I can have more of a presence like early and mid game so I can out jungle Thermidor. So like I guess in terms of that, like I want to beat Thermidor's ass. Be completely honest with you, but I also know that like it's gonna be hard because like he's better than me, if not at the same skill as me.
Well, all right. I guess we will find out next time in the final round of the Baddie League if the one death dream of Dub Drum can carry his team to a victory over the scalding jungling pressure of Thermidor and 30's shot call.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Congrats
Yeah.
on your win.
Congrats.
See you
Thank
next week.
User left your channel.